So it's episode 15 of Speakin Geek. I'm Graham.
Hello, Graham.
Hello. What? What's wrong? What?
I'm Tom.
And I'm Shane.
And I'm Olivia.
Tom, why are you laughing? Just for everyone, because this is a podcast, so it's an audio thing. Tom just made the boob gesture.
Gesture, not gesture.
International gesture.
International of the boobs. But that's not what we're talking about tonight. No. Tonight we're talking about The Flash. And apparently Shane has a lot of bile built up that I just want to punch him in his chest.
Shane is the minority of the group.
Shane is the reverse Flash.
I really enjoyed the show, but I think it has a lot of problems.
Such as it's too good.
It's seriously?
I really like it.
Brilliant.
But it has some of the worst dialogue writing in any TV show.
It's its first season.
It's the CW.
It's the CW.
Yeah, and for a CW show, it's still really bad with dialogue. There's so many episodes I watched where I actually just sat there and cringed at the way lines are delivered and stuff. None of the only characters that are likable are Barry, Cisco, and
Caitlin.
Wells.
Eddie.
Or not Wells.
Caitlin is very relatable.
Abard.
Joe.
Do you mean Tom Kelly?
Joe.
You don't like Wells? I mean, knowing what we know about him,
But
I
he
mean,
wasn't
on.
okay.
Yeah,
yes,
I'm so bad at names,
Wells
sorry.
the original Wells was probably a likable character, but we didn't get to know him very well.
we never actually got to know him.
But we might.
We might.
Oh yeah.
There's no might
Spoilers
about it. We
alert.
will.
Spoilers ahead. We are going to talk about the whole season because
including the finale.
Yeah, because to be fair, it finished. It finished like a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
So
no, there's a lot of things set up in the writing that then they just have no conclusion, or characters just do things with stupid as their motivations. And I'm not even just talking about Iris, who's one of the worst characters on TV ever.
terrible.
Which I do want to say to audiences out there is, leave the actress alone. It's not her fault.
No, it's not.
I know.
She's great in the comics though. Like Iris is a great character in the
Candace
comics.
Payton, according to Tom's phone here. So yeah,
Candace is a brilliant
she's just
actress, but she's gotten literally all of the shit thrown at her because her character was written as a bitch.
She hasn't gotten all of the worst. I mean,
she's done a fair
Caitlin Snow
bit.
has been some of the. She's had some of the worst.
Really annoying.
She's
characters.
terrible.
No.
Do you know what it is? All
I
the
love
women.
Caitlin. What's
You like
going
Caitlin?
on
I
here?
love Caitlin.
Tom, sit us down. Explain to us why you like Caitlin Snow, aka the worst scientist in the world.
Who knows nothing about science?
Who doesn't know what a black hole? Who doesn't know what a singularity is? I know what a singularity is. So come on, defend Snow.
She's hot.
That's it. That's honestly it.
No, she had some of the. She's probably one of the. Her and Cisco are the. For lack of a better group, they are the comic relief. Like they do have some of the funnier scenes in the entire show.
I think it's really just him, and she's there.
She
had
has
the
some good
karaoke
singers
scene.
as well.
Oh,
Exactly the earlier season where people were weirdly trying to ship the two of them for some stupid reason.
Yeah, that was really weird. Everyone was like Barry and Caitlin,
and I hate myself for using the term shipping.
Yeah,
I feel dirty.
Unless it's when you're getting retweeted by John Wesley's ship. That's right, folks. Tom got retweeted by the original Flash himself.
It wasn't even that. It was a reply.
It was a reply.
I don't even think he realised that he replied.
No, I don't think he did.
I think he meant to reply just to Stephen Amell.
Okay, tell that story then, since we've gotten there.
Yeah.
I found out that Stephen Amell was in Ireland through one of the guys. So I just tweeted at him to just say, make sure you enjoy a Guinness, if you're able. John Wesley ship. I saw that I hadn't been following him, so I just hit follow. But within 10 minutes later, I got a reply, and I was like, oh. So I opened it up, and it's John Wesley ship just saying something that is not directed at me at all. It's directly related to Stephen. So I was like, yay.
And part of a
what did he
connection.
say?
Enjoy yourself, like he said.
Something like
enjoy
that.
yourself.
Yeah. Something along those lines.
But it's really cool because I think John Wesley Shipp has been one of the best parts of the series.
Yeah, especially for those of you who don't know, John Wesley Shipp was the original Flash.
Dawson Leary's dad.
Stop it! Why do you keep bringing that up?
Nobody
Leave him alone.
cares.
No, he was the original Flash.
And to that point, I've seen, because of the season finale, and we'll get into that in a couple of seconds, establishing that there are multiple timelines. Some rumours have been about John Wesley Shipp donning the red suit again and playing an older Barry. I don't think it will happen. I think it's
because no one will believe that suit. That suit was terrible.
Not even that, but I mean, they try and establish that character could have evolved and had a better suit afterwards. But the whole notion of him playing the Flash, even though we've already seen the same actress who played Tina McGee, and we've had Mark Hamill come in playing the Trickster. I just don't think it's
a terrible episode. Anyway,
that was one of the best episodes.
That was one of the best episodes because it completely bought into the comics. It made
run!
It was amazing. He was eating up the scenery to such a great degree.
It was brilliant. Shane just needs to
Mark
leave.
Hamill did a great job.
The guy who played the other Trickster now, he was terrible.
Yeah.
But the story of the episode wasn't very good.
He even got to say, "I am your father." That was amazing.
That was brilliant. That was every geek's
Paradise.
Yeah,
it was amazing.
To Shane's earlier point about the writing in the show, in my review,
have you cringed at a few?
I did. There were several scenes, especially. To be fair, a lot of the kind of more dramatic and emotional scenes between Candice Patton and some of the other cast. Again, agree with Shane. Not the actress's fault. It's the poor writing and dialogue that was used. I did have several moments where I was like, "Oh, you didn't just say that. That's just really bad." It was poor writing and poor attempts at love stories and stuff like that. It was just awful.
Yeah.
There are ways to do those kind of things in that show, and I just think hopefully
give more specific examples. You're only giving general wide things.
I'm shaking my head here because I disagree.
Because I can name you every great moment, every fantastic moment. Name me a really bad moment that you cringed at. Actually a proper bad moment. Instead of saying it was bad writing, it was bad acting, name an actual moment that made you cringe. You said there were cringe.
Name me a moment that made you think was good.
Let me see now.
That's really easy.
That's very easy. Are you ready? Let's see now. When Eddie sacrificed himself, I actually was genuinely surprised that happened. That moment between when Joe ran at him and was like, "What have you done?" That was fantastic.
That was kind of telegraphed, though.
That was.
I didn't think so.
I thought that was heavily telegraphed, especially when Victor Garber talks to Eddie. And I was like, Eddie's going to do something. It's like I don't think he's. I thought he wasn't going to do something stupid like killing himself, but
we do not condone suicide.
No.
On Speakin Geek,
he could have just castrated himself. He didn't have to kill himself.
Hey, we're not.
If he just shot himself
this is
in the
not
balls,
Game of Thrones.
He could have just shot himself in the balls.
Now, I knew something was going to happen to Eddie, apart from his possible ball losing.
Possible unification. Shane.
Jesus, we want to see Eddie the Eunuch next year.
But I can't believe you said that.
I'm just saying, that was another way around it.
I do think that was heavily telegraphed, that something was going to happen and it was going to alter how the rest of the
But it was such a big thing that to kill him would have been so big.
Don't get me wrong, it was a big moment.
It was a really stupid thing for Eddie to do.
Because he
destroyed the timeline.
But did anyone notice, the timeline didn't just collapse?
Yeah.
It is starting to degrade, though. The singularity has come back.
There are too many paradoxes. That's why the singularity...
I have a huge issue with that. Is how is that going to affect the Arrow world? Because they're all in the same universe.
Exactly.
Arrow's going to get brighter and happier,
according to showrunners.
Yeah, apparently the showrunners have said, even Stephen Amell has said, he's not putting on the Arrow suit anymore. So, and the thing is, I like to say, they're for Arrow as well. Arrow ended.
Yeah, spoiler alert again.
It's spoiler.
We're talking about the finals.
I mean, Arrow, I thought ended well, not as well as it has before.
No.
But I did like the fact that they're going for a brighter future. I mean, there's nothing weighing him down anymore. We might see him crack a smile.
But I read Green Arrow comics and that kind of stuff, and Green Arrow was never that dark. Either. No, he was never Batman dark.
No, he's never. But he's never Batman.
But he's the CW's Batman now. So
because
that's the thing.
Rights issues and
but. He's supposed to be a bit brighter. He's always kind of been very compared to Batman, but Batman who's happy.
Yeah, he's quippy.
Yeah. He's happy.
Not Spider-Man.
He loves getting all his friends around and having a big cooking chili for people and all this kind of stuff.
Chili,
I'm serious. He has big barbecues and chili parties and stuff.
But
that's what Oliver Queen does. And he works in soup kitchens and stuff like this. That's the character he is. He's not the grumpy Bruce Wayne.
One of my
which they've kind of turned him into.
Yeah, when you said there about their CW have been trying to make him into their Batman. Is that why Ra's al Ghul, who's a Batman villain, is in Green Arrow.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. The thing is that's.
But also, he was a fantastic villain.
he was a great villain.
He was great. Mark Navel.
He was a great guy. He was a great Raz.
The very first couple of times I saw him, I was like, I wasn't sure because like he just, to me, he just looked a bit odd. And I watched a video today with Jeremy Jans on YouTube, and he was talking about this particular thing. He's like, initially, like, you look at his hair and it's all like preppy.
Oh yeah, I saw that as well.
And then in later episodes, it's all slick back, and he's looked kind of actual villainous. And it actually
does
does
more the Raish look.
He
Not
does,
Raz,
yeah.
Raish.
I know.
I
But you know,
agree.
they change it every time. Every person says it Raz, Raish. Like he says it Raish, but everyone else goes, no, it's Raz. And it's like, no, it's not.
It's Raish.
It's
It
Raish.
is Raish. It is.
The thing is, when we all have what our idea is of what Raish is as a character. Who, like, I mean, what nationality do you guys see him as? Because he's so difficult to cast.
He's Arabic.
Is that what he is, though?
Yeah, he's an Arabic character.
He's never been played by an Arabic actor, though.
He's always been drawn
Kind of
as a
more
kind of Asian
Northern
Arabic.
Europe.
Yeah, like, do you
European.
remember in Batman the animated series? He was very much drawn, very Asian looking. Like he had the tufts of hair and everything. But he's a very hard character to cast because I noticed a lot of people did not like that at first when he was.
Yeah, he was rocking a bit of kind of Ming the Merciless kind of thing.
He did, yeah.
Originally when he came into it, but no, in Arrow, he was like, what really captured me from is the episode where he has the sword fight with
Which one?
In the mid-season finale.
Yeah, where
it's amazing.
where he kills Oliver. And when he first takes like,
Air quotes.
and he's topless and he looks like an old timey boxer.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh my god, that's what Ra's al Ghul should look like. That's amazing.
Literally just like a triangle.
But like just the
But
way
without
he built
all
his
the
body,
abs and stuff.
And all I could think was, did he train to look like that?
Or
if
is
he
that
did,
him naturally?
Respect to that actor, because he had to specifically train to look like that.
And he's great. He was
brilliant.
every time he was on screen, you were drawn to him, hypnotized.
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
a very interesting character actor, and I'm sad to see him go. You know.
Well, who's to say, like, with the fact, and Shane highlighted it there, is like, with the fact that the singularity in the Flash is occurring,
True.
who's to say that Mark Neville doesn't become Raish again in an alternate timeline? Like, I mean, time travel is so hard to try and wrap your head around. But like, the chaos theory is probably the most probable thing that will happen with this show, where if Barry goes back and lives as if his mother is alive, and Eobard doesn't do anything, and becomes the Flash as he's supposed to be.
Yeah, that's normal, Barry.
In 2016, in 2020, which is when Wells creates the particle accelerator as he's supposed to, and not when Eobard.
Real Wells, not yet.
Real Wells.
Real
creates.
Tom Kavanagh.
So, like, I mean, that's the Flash that Barry sees with the white chest symbol. That's the original timeline Barry.
And that's the Barry who's married to Iris.
Yeah, and that's the one that married to Iris, not the one that we are used to. Because essentially, it means then, if not only that timeline for the Flash is an alternate timeline, it means Arrow's timeline is alternate.
Has been
So
changed
that
as well.
means, you know, you're looking at Slade not being on the island. You're looking at Willa Holland not being Speedy. You're possibly looking at, you know, Moira, his mum coming back.
Yeah, there's so
Or-
much.
So much stuff that can change.
Maybe
come back.
Wayne Enterprises and Queen Industries don't merge like they did in 2024.
Exactly.
That's so cool.
That's the thing. Like, I mean, and there's so many little things that can change that can make either show. So, I mean, next year,
It's gonna be amazing.
I wonder, will we have, instead of flashbacks and stuff like that on Arrow and the Flash, will we see divergent timelines on either side? So you're going to have like a story where you will see Caitlin Snow become Killer Frost.
We already saw it. We already saw a little tease
which
of
we
it.
saw in the tease in the finale.
Do you know that, Olivia?
No.
I'm like looking at you guys going, what? How did I miss that?
Caitlin, yeah, when Barry's running through the timeline, you can see Caitlin as Killer Frost.
That's who it was.
Yeah, that's Killer Frost. You
I
can
was
see.
like, oh, there's some woman enemy.
Yeah, I did not think
that's
that
Killer
was her.
Frost.
I
And
didn't realize that.
you can also see the Flash statue in the Flash Museum,
Yeah.
and Barry in prison. It's just like, what's happening here? Are these divergent timelines, or is his possible future?
So that was when
But you
he
do-
was running in the particle accelerator trying to get up to speed. Was
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
You do realize what's going to happen though is the first, say, 3 episodes of season 2 are going to be in a new timeline.
Oh, yeah.
And then it's just going to go back to the normal timeline.
If we're lucky, it's 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
I'd
might
say
be
2.
the first 10 minutes
First one.
of the first episode.
Hi, I'm Bart.
Though,
Bye.
then again, it is CW, it might be the next 7 seasons.
If Supernatural has taught us anything.
Like,
Yeah, yeah.
it thought just
Season 11.
thought just literally hit me that this because of this, it also explains why for the first year of Supergirl there will be no crossovers. So, like, I mean, it would be too confusing to try and cross over Supergirl with a show that's trying to deal with multiple timelines.
Did anyone
they're
watch
not-
that, by the way?
No.
Trailer.
No, the episode was leaked.
was
Oh
it?
yeah, that's right. Yeah. I
And
haven't
apparently
watched
it's
it.
good. Apparently they said
Yeah.
it's a lot better than the trailer shows you. It's not Sex and the City meets Gossip Girl. It
It
kind of
looked-
is.
It looked good in the trailer, and it's a show they need. They need something like that for more of a female demographic.
It's just the
Yeah.
problem
Yeah.
is if she is part of that universe, that also means Superman is part of that universe. And where the hell has he been?
That's the thing. From the trailer, kind of gives me like,
So-
where's
You
Where
see
is
it-
Superman?
You see a silhouette of
A dude that is not Henry Cavill, I will tell you that.
yeah.
But I like your theory. Was it your theory you had of
Mhm.
that they're kind of setting that
Infinite Crisis
the
up.
that the CW shows are just an alternate timeline of the
Mhm.
movie. That
Well,
there
everyone
is
is
room for
hoping that.
crossover, but
Yeah.
it's
Everyone is hoping that what Warner Brothers is planning, what DC is planning,
they're
is
secretly doing
they're
a Marvel
secretly doing an
Connected Universe.
they're doing an Infinite Crisis, where basically all of these are alternate timelines, alternate versions. So Ezra Miller's Flash will one day meet Grant Gustin's Flash in a
Okay,
combination
yeah.
thing altogether. And I think if that happens, that will trump anything Marvel can do, because that leaves them open to do whatever the hell they want without having to worry about the baggage of continuity.
yes.
Because that is one problem that S.H.I.E.L.D. had for the first season. That, like, I mean, and it still kind of does.
It was still so tied to
It's
what
still tied
it
to-
was very beholden to what the
Agent-
movie universe was trying to establish. Now, in saying that, like
But then
Shield,
Daredevil pull it off.
well, that's the thing. Daredevil had the license to go and do its own thing for the
Mhm.
Netflix model. The same will happen with Jessica Jones. The same will happen with Iron Fist, and then hopefully the Defenders.
And Luke Cage, don't forget.
And Luke Cage, obviously, like the autonomy is there for them within the non-corporate network structure to be able to tell their own stories while still throwing little references to the different parts of the MCU. Like, for example, the way the New York attack was originally written in Daredevil was actually the alien invasion, and then like Joe Quesada said recently on a Kevin Smith podcast that they looked at it. Jeff Loeb, he, and several other of the writers, Drew Goddard, looked at it and said, "No, that doesn't sound right."
Yeah, and
especially
everyone kept hitting into it.
yeah, it sounded a bit too on the nose to some of them. So what they changed was, and it was simple, just the incident, which meant that everybody who has watched everything up to that point knew what was going on, knew what it was and what they meant, while also not being too bogged down by having to know a lot of that
Yeah.
stuff.
It was really subtle how they did it as well, because they even had covers of the newspapers framed in the back of
Ben's office.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Oh,
And
that's
I,
right, yeah.
I really liked that. And then, of course, like when he
Like Terror in Harlem, it
like
was
he's
the
like
Hulk attack.
he's like looking at them, and it was really. I actually really liked that, because it's kind of like, for those of us that have seen it, we kind of go, oh yeah, I know what that is. And then for people who haven't, then it's nothing spoiled.
Yeah, it's quite subtle as well.
And I mean, that's the
good
kind of model they have to. I think that's what they should stick with, because Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has gotten markedly better, but it is still bogged down.
Yeah.
When an Avengers film is happening or a Captain America film is happening, you can tell everything kind of takes a slight backseat.
Well, it's like what they did with the Winter Soldier, and it was.
But that
what
was all
it?
set up for it.
But no, but was it Winter Soldier came out on the Friday, and on the Monday, Shield spoiled the
Pretty much, yeah.
the film.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, well, like
I did not know that.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
I
because
gave
the
up on
film
Shield because it was also terribly
the film happens over obviously 2.5 hours. The Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. happens over like 22, 23 episodes, and halfway through it, they did that and they did spoil it. So if you did not go to see
the film.
Winter Soldier, just like, oh, okay, well that's the big surprise gone.
Yeah, it's very bad marketing.
It's very bad.
That was
Um,
and the thing is, like, that's something that could have been so avoided, because they would have known when the film was coming out, so they would have been able to space out the episodes.
Yeah, or just take a mid-season
Accordingly.
break, plan it for the mid-season break or
Yeah.
something.
They
like
did
that.
set it up nicely for Age of Ultron, though. The episode, like, leading up, like, did you guys all kind of wonder where that helicarrier came from? Like
yeah.
Oh, he's always just dusted
they,
it off.
they explain
mothballs.
yeah.
Not for the Irish
They
audience,
explain
though.
it. No, not for the Irish audience. Who got it like 2 weeks in advance.
Like I mean, the Irish audience were like, if they were watching S.H.I.E.L.D. and then went to see Agents of Ultron, or Age of Ultron, it would have just been very weird to see the carrier just come out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if it was lined up with the US release, it would have been a little bit more.
Do not look this gift horse in the mouth.
Oh, no,
We get movies ahead of them
we
now.
like
I
that.
agree with that. I agree with the fact that we
Like
get
me
it.
and Olivia saw that a month before we saw.
And to be
before they-
honest, even if
For the
they did have
Americans.
the same release date, you probably still will see it a
Yeah.
month ahead of time.
God bless you, Disney.
What I will praise S.H.I.E.L.D. for is how they structured the season this year, because they had the split where you had the first maybe 10 episodes which had a bit of the mid-season finale, and I think that's where a lot of network TV shows are going now. It's that kind of mini arc structure where you have the first 10 episodes tell one kind of part of a story, and then it has a bit of a break, comes back and tells the rest of the story, whereas S.H.I.E.L.D. had its actual first arc was about finding the Diviner and understanding what the Diviner was and finding the reason behind Coulson's mad writing that he had from the end of the first season. And when it finished and it had the Terrigen Mist perform its thing on Daisy on Sky, everybody was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And so it kind of left a lot of like to be people
Continued,
wanting
yeah.
to have more. So then you had Agent Carter start,
Which is great.
which I thought was perfect. Like it didn't leave a gap for people to not want to have a show in between or not have their comic book fix on the same night that S.H.I.E.L.D. was on. And then S.H.I.E.L.D. came back and it hit the ground running. I thought this year S.H.I.E.L.D. was probably, if I was to rank shows, Flash would be my favourite this year, then S.H.I.E.L.D., then Arrow.
Does Daredevil not?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, like I'm talking about
Gee,
like,
we're
I'm,
just all
like,
sitting here going, him.
Is Daredevil just on another
I'm
tier?
talking about the network
Shield
shows.
above Arrow.
That's really.
For me, this year, Arrow was
Shane
woeful.
Arrow. Shield did get a lot better this season.
I just couldn't get into it though.
Like a lot better. You
Like
can skip it. Like, and do you know what's great? Kyle MacLachlan was amazing.
he was awesome.
He was
especially in
awesome.
the finale.
Yeah, especially in the finale.
I actually found it quite a lot of the emotional scenes that he had, especially with Sky. I thought they were
Really hit
really
home,
good,
yeah.
and you could really sell the emotion from him. And I'm really looking forward to him coming back to Twin Peaks, which I'm so delighted that is coming back.
So Tom and everyone, if you could rate it, the 4 comic book TV shows like finales, what would you say? What's your tops? Arrow, Flash, Daredevil, and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Tom, you gave us yours. What about you guys?
In
What
terms
would be
of just the finale?
just the finale? Because if we're going
That's
Shane's
TV
ready
show.
a lot of shade thrown his
Because
way.
Daredevil's difficult because technically you could like watch it all in one day.
No, but also the finale wasn't great in Daredevil.
It was not, but it was still built on really well.
It was a far more superior show to all the others, but also because it was a Netflix show, they had no boundaries
Yes.
and all that kind of stuff, and they could make it as adult as they wanted. All that, but didn't have a great ending.
Did you like the suit though? Did you like the suit?
Really?
Yeah, it was better than the Crimson Condom.
I'm so glad I named the episode that.
The return of the Crimson Condom.
How do we always get back
So
to the
who-
Crimson Condom?
Who had the best final?
Best finale.
Oh,
If I'm being honest, I'd have to say
I've only
Flash.
only seen Flash and Arrow. I haven't seen
So compare
And,
your
and,
deals.
and Daredevil.
And
and
Daredevil.
Daredevil. So
So compare.
just in terms alone of writing and making sense, I have to go with Daredevil.
No,
Even though it probably wasn't very strong.
No.
Then Arrow and then
Wow, Flash
after.
gets the weakest.
Yes.
And yet it's been consistently the best. Like between Arrow and Flash, it's consistently been the best.
Really?
I think so.
Yeah.
It's been more fun. I looked forward to watching Flash every week. I actually put off watching Arrow sometimes, but
I
I
get
looked
that I
forward.
like to
I looked
marathon
forward.
them.
I looked forward to Flash every time it came out.
Oh, right.
The biggest praise for Flash really is that Andrew Kreisberg, Jeff Johns, and
Greg
Berlanti, as a group for running that show, and as the writers' room was already there established from a very strong second season of Arrow. It was a very well-oiled machine, and they hit the ground running, and they didn't stop. Shows in their first season aren't expected to be that good.
Yeah, no, yeah.
So the fact that it did so well is a brilliant, brilliant thing. The writing did dip and so on, but I think Flash just had the fact that they embraced the comic books
Yeah.
feel
No,
to
no,
the show,
no,
and that's probably its biggest selling point for a lot of people.
No, I would totally agree with that completely. But it's just sometimes it's just those cringy dialogue and Captain Cold. It was like
I liked him. I liked how he ate up the
Despite
scenery.
how hammy he was.
He was brilliant.
It was, but like,
It's what
it
it
also
Heatwave
saying-
was worse.
but,
Heatwave
like,
was bad.
Went with Miller as it went on. He just got more and more talking like this, and I'm more evil, and he was just like, where the hell did that come
The
from?
Legends of Tomorrow trailer was annoying when he was like, well, frankly, I can't see any future where I'm a hero. So it's
Yeah.
like, come on, Wentworth. You were in Prison Break. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Do you know what really killed me? Actually, it wasn't so much the Flash final. I watched the last 2 episodes in a row, right?
Oh, nice.
The second last episode
Here we go.
was just so bad.
But it had
didn't
2
make-
Amels in it.
It didn't
That was
make
probably the best
any
part of that
sense
entire episode.
at all, and especially the 2 Amels
I
didn't
know,
make
I
any
know.
sense.
Yeah.
Because if you'd watched Arrow, there was no way he could have gotten there.
No.
No, there was the bus.
No, there
There's a
wasn't.
quick
Oh,
bus.
there's the 10-minute bus from
Nanda Parbat, the most accessible ninja hideout in the world.
Yeah.
where it's only up the road.
I mean, it makes more sense now. 'Cause the fact is
Tourist
they have Barry now, so they can get there very easily now.
But sorry. And, yeah, the 5 minutes that Barry was in Arrow
Well, great.
was amazing.
Yeah.
It was brilliant.
He
And
was
then he's
so
like, they're like, can you help us with this really big problem? He's like, oh, I got problems of my own, I gotta go.
Yeah.
And it was just like, dude, it would literally take you a second.
It would. It would literally take him a second.
And that really annoyed me. But anyway, no, but the episode, right, the whole setup for this episode, the second episode, was that the
They were looking for a reverse flash.
no, yeah, the not generator, the
Particle accelerator.
particle
Did
accelerator.
you watch the show?
Yeah,
Leave him alone.
the particle
You
accelerator.
have got a wedding to get them ready for.
Yeah, the particle accelerator. I haven't slept for 2 weeks. I've been working on a short film. I finally got some sleep last night. So the particle accelerator was going to go off, and it was on a timer. And even though Cisco knew nothing about the technology, it'll go off in 36 hours exactly.
Oh yeah.
Which was again terrible writing. Ha, gotcha. Right.
So a time problem is your problem?
No, the fact that he goes, I don't understand this technology at all, but I know it'll go off at exactly 36
He said,
hours.
I estimate.
Estimate.
Yeah.
He estimated.
Right, so then they're on a timeline of how are we going to get these people out of here because they'll die in the accelerator because we made a prison out of the accelerator.
Oh yeah, with all the
So
metahumans.
then they thought, oh, okay, we'll ask whoever we can. Joe, can you get the police? No, we can't. I know, let's ask a villain for no reason at all except that we might need protection. None of that made any sense why they needed Captain Cold's help there. There was no reason for it at all. They had it covered.
Because they didn't have.
The only reason that
Why did they need him to
They
drive
need-
around on a motorbike and then betray them? For no reason
They
at all.
needed
needed
a
something.
team. They needed a physical team to
Why?
deal with them.
Why?
Because
he can't take them all on.
his gun.
They were all
and-
unconscious.
but
Just
his-
keep them unconscious.
But his gun and the sister's gun were the only two things that they knew that would probably work on them, because then they
And
could
it did
reverse
And
it.
kill the people they're trying not
Yeah.
to save.
Just in case.
It didn't make any sense.
Well, they
And
tried to
then, right,
escape, then it's just like, well, shit.
Yeah. And then,
And he
then
did-
they all escaped.
Not all of them.
Right.
He did kill one of them.
And then,
Death Head.
then, for no reason at all, the accelerator wasn't going off anymore.
Wasn't it because?
No. They
Uh-oh.
never gave a reason.
Uh-oh. Oh crap.
Wait, hang on. You're okay. I'm just gonna answer one thing. The only reason Wentworth Miller was included in that episode was literally set up for the Rogues for second
Oh, I
season.
know, yeah, yeah.
And
That
that's
is
to look forward to
literally
too.
the only reason he was
Oh, I
involved.
know, yeah, yeah.
Which it was finally good to see the Golden Glider name.
Liam McIntyre was great again.
Oh, he was. I loved him in Spartacus as well.
Yeah. I like him as. I love him as the Weather Wizard. Great.
He's really good. Yeah, yeah.
The amount of Spartacus and Night in
I
the two
know,
shows.
I
is
know,
unreal.
it's hilarious.
That second last episode, the last 5 minutes where you see Stephen Amell, Robbie Amell, and Barry in Grant Gustin all fight against Harrison. That was probably the best part of that episode.
Yeah, it was.
Like,
The whole-
although actually that it's tied with the Green Lantern reference of the missing airline pilot at
Ferris
Ferris
which
Air.
was also in Arrow.
Yeah.
Nephew Ferris Air as well. So I was like, oh.
And the thing is, at the finale of, I know this is probably me reaching, but they have said Arrow is getting brighter, and the last thing we see of the finale of Arrow is them on a coast, and they're
It's
going
Coast City.
somewhere, and it could possibly be Coast City, and people are really grasping for this now, thinking we might see Green Lantern show up.
I actually think this will be a case where we'll see, say, Hal Jordan on the TV show, and we'll
Or
see
Kyle.
Hal or Kyle. More than
John
likely,
Stewart.
it'll more than likely
Or
be
John
Hal.
Diggle Stewart.
No,
That was the
that's
TV
not going to hold
Is that a
any
real name?
water.
No one knows. People are kind of reaching, saying John Diggle from the comic from Arrow might be the Green Lantern for the Arrow
universe.
Flash universe, and that they're saying that his full name is actually John Diggle Stewart. That Diggle is a middle name
Or a nickname.
and it's just like he'd be great because they have said he is suiting up for season 4.
Yeah. He said,
Yeah.
I have a few ideas. He said you should wear a mask to protect your identity. You know,
He really
I
should
have a
because
few ideas.
watching
Or
Arrow and
was it-
Flash.
he says, I'm working on something.
Yeah,
That's what
watching Arrow and Flash and seeing him in combat, you're just like, why does he not wear anything? Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
with
he's
his massive
family-
arms.
Yeah, it's really funny. Like his family is in like a lot of danger now.
Because he's a badass.
He is a badass.
Actually, while we're asking questions of like why was things done a certain way, and of course now the mention of masks, I do have to ask, why did Barry keep removing his mask at random points of the
Because
thing? Because it's like
he's a
anyone could have
pretty-
walked around and seen him and known that it was him.
But he's super fast. He's the only. He's the
Yeah,
only
but he
person
never
who's
did it when he was caught. When he got caught, he turned around and just went, "Oh shit!"
Like even John Barrowman knows who he is now.
Yeah, thanks, Felicity.
That was so
well, no,
funny.
he just knows
That
there's
was-
a guy named Barry.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, but I thought that was probably one of the funniest moments of
That was
that episode. That was hilarious.
Well, it made me laugh because in the last couple of episodes of Flash, like they totally gave away that Oliver is Green Arrow to like
Yeah.
everybody.
Everyone. Yeah.
Like,
How is that going to be
everyone knows.
fixed? How is that going to be fixed?
What?
The fact that Oliver can't be.
Green Arrow.
Well, he
He
can't,
can't be Arrow.
He can't
yeah,
be
but,
Arrow.
Yeah, but
yeah.
everyone's just going to go. You changed one. You added one name to your rogue name. Like, I mean, Green Arrow. I mean, did you honestly think we wouldn't check?
Big.
If glasses work for Superman.
True.
That is a really
That
fair
is
point.
really true.
Yeah.
I mean, like, if just making your voice sound like this works for Batman, I mean, come on.
Well, I'm looking forward to the
I
voice
did like the new
modulator.
Speedy costume. It was really good. Actually.
Speedy costume was great. She looked great in that.
Yeah.
At least it didn't show any midriff, because entire season of Willa Holland with just crop tops
That is true.
was so freaking weird. I was like, it's not the 90s.
Weird or
It's not the
distracting?
90s.
Like,
It's not the 90s.
crop tops are back in, don't you know that?
Clearly not.
And that's why we have a girl
So
here.
so can we talk about
Oh,
the
that's
gorilla?
like the
in the,
girliest thing I've
can we
ever
talk?
heard.
Can we talk about the gorilla in the room? How freaking great was Gorilla Grodd?
Grodd was amazing.
I thought Grodd was brilliant.
Yeah.
Right.
Bit sad that he's not, his original origin. Bit sad about that.
Yeah. What I really did like was that he didn't talk. He only
Psychically
telepathy-
projected
yeah.
his voice.
So-
Are you hoping for an
Telepathy.
evolution though?
No.
No, I
it's
think
better.
that's the
I
perfect way
think
to
it works
do it.
way better.
And it's also a slightly creepier as well if you can only hear it in your own head.
Yeah.
The design also was amazing, and Joe's acting was so great. Just like he is
Actually,
genuinely frightened of that
there-
thing.
There's one of the weird, the weakest parts of the dialogue. His do you want a banana?
That was bad.
That was weird.
That was
and
bad, but it
That
was also very funny
That's
because
because Cisco made him.
Yeah, that was
like,
like
if
an
you meet the
inside
gorilla-
joke.
Give him a banana.
and then
Did he like the
Cis-
banana? Does he like banana?
They finally addressed why Cisco could see into other universes.
Yes.
They admitted that he's Vibe now.
Oh, really? Is that? I was
Well,
trying
yeah,
to
that's why they're
vibrations.
saying like he. That's why they're saying it's like, oh, you were the only one that could see the.
Vibrations of another
Parallel.
universe,
Yeah.
which is
But-
great.
which is also something that Barry can do.
But they also did a couple
Technically.
episodes
Yeah,
ago. I'm trying to remember who it was.
What?
There was a guy who was a metahuman, not affected by the.
That was Deadbolt. That was
Was that who it
that
was?
was Doug
He's
Jones,
dead.
who got a face full of ice.
Yeah, it was that guy. I was trying to remember which
Reminding
one it
you that
was.
Wentworth Miller doesn't just ham it up; he kills.
Now, that was one of my issues with the show, is that it introduced a lot of villains, villain of the week kind of villains, and I thought a bit like Smallville, where in its first couple of seasons, where it had villain A, whatever, Barry goes off, does his thing, and then learns something new of himself, blah blah blah. But I think people like Doug Jones, who are really good actors, should have been kept on.
Yeah, he deserved better.
But again, there's so much unknown about what's going to come for the second season because of the possibilities within time travel, and because of the fact that we know now that the timeline of this season of Flash and the entire 3 seasons of Arrow are affected by this.
Mm-hmm.
Because the fact that Nora Allen died affected so much I would wonder what affected it if she lived in the Arrow universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they're technically living, like, they technically said it at that episode, they're technically living in Flashpoint.
Yeah, they're living
They're
in
living
the
in
wrong
Flashpoint.
universe.
Technically, yeah.
Because the original universe, she didn't die. And it's so weird. It's just, it's very...
It's a
it'll be
mind
very-
fuck,
It is a
basically.
mind fuck.
Yeah.
But, like, looking ahead, like, when we saw Jay Garrick's helmet...
I
Oh,
was just
my
about to bring
God.
that up. I literally screamed.
I can't wait, because Jay Garrick, are we going to see Bart? Are we going to see Wally? I can't wait to see all the speedsters. And the fact that Eddie got sucked into that singularity, I guarantee you he's going to come back as a speedster.
He's gonna-
guarantee
You
it.
think?
Well,
I'd say so.
there's a
He's
speedster.
a Thawne.
There's a speedster known as Cobalt Blue, who is, for fans of the comics, is Barry's long lost twin brother, who
Yeah.
was raised by criminals, and he rejected Barry and found that he hated Barry and everything that Barry got growing up because he felt that was what he should have gotten.
There's so many of those out
Because
there.
Well,
Yeah,
half of it.
it's like the evil
Yeah.
twin complex.
yeah, like the story in the comics is that when the day that Barry was born, he was actually born with his twin, but the doctor who was delivering Barry also was delivering another family, which was the criminal family, delivering another baby for this criminal family, and that baby died. So what the doctor did was take one of the twins, which was Eddie, or in this case Cobalt Blue. I can't think of what his actual
Is
name
Cobalt
was.
Blue also on a motorcycle? Is that what I'm thinking of?
But he gave that baby to the criminals. They raised him in the criminal life, and then he finds out that he's Barry's twin, and all
The
things
Allen's
ensue
fault.
after that.
One of the babies died. Is that what they did?
Yeah,
yeah.
So weird.
Yeah.
Switched at birth.
It's a
Oh
really
my
bad
god, it's
storyline.
twins. Superpowers.
But like, I mean, I think if you were to look at the comic book vision of Barry, he's this tall,
Blonde.
striking, blonde-haired, blue-eyed guy, and you're like, that's the description of
The Aryan race. The master race.
I was going to say Rick Cosnett, who plays Eddie.
That is also true. It's worrying that I went to a Nazi reference.
Okay, great.
There's a
Secret
law. There's a
anti-Semitic.
law. There's a law that actually defines that things will actually reach. We're better than Nazis. There's an actual law within. There's an actual law. I can't think of the name of it now.
And I've just decided this is going to be the Nazi episode. But I mean, you'd know, Tom, there's also this other character, the Black Flash. Do you remember? He's basically the death of the Flashes. The Flashes are so fast that death can never catch them. So there is a Black Flash, a Flash who races and chases them and kills them. So I think maybe that's what Eddie might come back as.
That's
Considering
a
he
really good idea.
technically did
That's
it.
actually quite good.
CW, take note.
Like, I think
Even if they left him out for like a whole
season.
leave
And
him
then-
for a whole season, and then bring him back for season 3.
But what I can't wait for is they've shown the Speed Force. Will they do like what it's like in the New 52 and make it that it's a plane of existence? Like it's another place where people live, and Barry gets stuck in the Speed Force for like a couple of years in the comics.
well,
Like that might happen in this.
he gets in the first arc of the New 52. I think it's actually not the first arc. I think it's the second arc of the New 52
Because
Flash.
it ends with him and stuck.
He gets sucked into the Speed Force. And for the real world, I think it's only for like a couple of minutes. But within the Speed Force, he's there he's in the Speed Force technically for a couple of months or years go by. Like he finds stuff that is from the Bermuda Triangle kind of idea of stuff disappearing and then reappearing through time. But I definitely think that could be something that could be established. Like I like that Wells, like one of the, like I loved Tom Kavanagh in this show, and one of the best pieces of dialogue that was in the show was when he tried to calm Barry down and tried to get him to focus and center on his speed, so that he was talking about the wind in his hair. He's talking about the speed going through him and being a part of him. And just the way it was delivered was just fantastic. Grant Gustin, I said in my review, I was not big fan of having someone like him
Neither
be
was I.
the Flash. I watched some showreel clips of him being in Glee, and I was like, "This is the guy."
Let's not judge him for Glee, okay? No, nobody
I
can
was
be
really
judged for
surprised
Glee.
when he got cast.
Me
but
too.
Actually, he did a great job.
He
Yeah.
blew the job out of
That's
the
pretty funny.
water.
Olivia still hasn't seen the first 2 episodes of Arrow where he's in it.
Oh, really?
She hasn't seen him
I
pre-Flash.
haven't actually seen any of Arrow,
It's good.
so I have a lot of.
Watch
catching
it.
up
Manu
to do.
Bennett's amazing.
I love Manu Bennett.
Graham's
He's
obsessed
brilliant.
with him.
Yeah, so
And
what?
rightly so.
He's
Again, another
gorgeous.
Spartacus actor, Crixus.
Yeah.
You
Again, no, I never watched Spartacus.
You get to see him naked.
I
You'd
don't.
love it.
We were talking about castration shows earlier. That was probably the biggest one.
Oh,
Oh god.
You're always going on about how much you love him. You should definitely watch Spartacus.
You know,
all that blood and sex.
Yeah.
I told the
And
guys.
sand.
I told the guys. I was at Dragon Con and he was there. I was so scared to walk up to him.
What?
Yeah, he's really big.
Oh yeah,
He's really scary.
he's gigantic. That's
He's a Melly. That's why.
But like, I mean, I'll be very interested to see what villains are left. That's the interesting thing. What villains are left now?
Well, you've got the rogues.
But you
yeah, but
also
they've
have
been introduced.
you also
You've
have
got Mirror Master.
every DC villain.
Oh, that's
ever,
true. If
because they
Arrow
can do
taught us
whatever-
anything, you can have anyone.
but they can take all the like villains from Batman and Superman.
True.
Whatever they want. You can
Like,
have Metallo.
well,
You can have.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
I
You
think
can have Clayface. You can have.
Oh, Clayface be great.
And then there was hints months and months ago that we were going to see Harley Quinn in the Suicide Squad.
Yeah,
and
but
then
that's
she wasn't
gone.
in it.
No, she was for like a second.
Yeah,
You saw the back of her head.
But that was a great episode.
That was very fun. Did you hear the reason why
I
they
was about
said?
to say,
yeah,
I have
the Arrow
an answer on
producers. The Arrow producers said we had such big plans for Harley, and then the Suicide Squad film
That's
happened.
what I figured. Yeah. They ruined it on
Yeah, there's like we can't go near her now, and it's just like, by right, go for it. I mean, there's two Barrys now. I mean, Ezra Miller, Phil Lord and Chris Miller have stated Ezra Miller is playing Barry Allen in the Flash film. So
Yeah.
why not? I mean, you can have two. If you can have two Barrys, you can have two Harleys.
Okay. Just to bring it back to something you said earlier, Olivia still hasn't given a nice review, given your top for the finales.
Flash, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I really like that ending, and then Arrow.
What about Daredevil?
Daredevil's different. Daredevil.
I take Daredevil out of the equation
Daredevil's-
simply because
yeah.
he's in the Netflix model.
Yes.
Whereas Flash, Arrow, iZombie even as well. Apparently, it's been
I like
really good
iZombie.
this year.
It's
I've
good.
only watched the first two, but it's
It's
good.
good.
Gotham.
Oh, I hate Gotham.
I like
David.
Gotham.
Oh,
I'm probably
the uninitiated.
I'm probably one of the only people left that still likes Gotham, though.
Probably.
I'm enjoying it.
You're
Although
so-
I will say, when they did introduce spoiler alert, when they did try and introduce the character behind the Joker,
Oh
So, like,
yeah.
that was the most over-exaggerated.
The circus
We are
episode.
saying, this is the guy who's going to become the Joker, and basically just had him doing the laugh over and over and over and over. I was like, we got it the first time. You didn't need to like ram it
But
down
that's
our
what
throats.
that's what Gotham does. It hammers it in.
Yeah, it's basically they either make it like
Kevin
so
Smith.
overly obvious,
that
or
what he's
they
calling
make
it?
it like so subtle you can't actually tell
It's not subtle
who
at all.
they are. No. Some of them were subtle. I can't
Such
remember
as?
which ones they
Such
were because I
'cause
didn't know.
Tell you
who-
what, it won't be subtle to us.
Yeah, might not be subtle to you, but there were some who like with the lesser known sort of characters, like when they sort of introduced them, like I wouldn't have known that they were going to end up as one way, whereas then with like the Riddler and Joker and
Really Enigma.
Catwoman and
Edward Nigma.
yeah. So it was like things like that. They were really shoved down your
Has there
throat
been
and
to that
been
show?
like, "This is who this person's going to be," and it was like, "Yes, we get it. Stop it."
Like Pamela Isley, who's beside a potted plant.
yeah,
She's actually not called Pamela
No,
Isley.
what's she called again?
She's called
Olive.
Ivy.
it's Olive, isn't it?
No.
Oh, Ivy Dickens.
No,
Gardens.
something Ivy. She's actually called Ivy.
Plant.
Some Ivy something.
Is
Anyway,
it
that's
Ivy?
that's how much I hate that
Yeah,
show.
it's such a bad show.
Is it like Ivy Oak or something?
Something.
So
stupid.
yeah, Olivia. So your top. So what would yours be?
Well, okay, if you're taking Daredevil out of the equation,
You
I'm
have to.
only left with the Flash because
'cause
I
you
don't watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Okay,
I haven't seen Arrow,
okay.
but I also haven't seen the finale of Gotham yet. So
Ugh.
And I haven't seen the finale of Agent Carter either. Actually, I think
Alright.
I'm 2 episodes away.
Actually, the finale of Agent Carter is really, really good.
Yeah, okay.
The Agent
I
Carter
don't
in the
watch
whole
that
was
either.
actually really,
It's
really
good. It's
and
good.
I'm so glad that's coming back.
Yeah.
And
'Cause I
for a
love hanging out
10
with
episode run this time.
Yeah.
I did struggle with a lot of the dialogue in it.
Yeah, me too.
It was.
I think it was trying
quite
to-
hammy because it was really hammering on the.
That it was in the 40s or 50s.
Or the 50s, and let's
Hey
all
there,
talk like
dog
this.
face.
Shut up,
Yeah.
you silly woman, and stuff like that.
But I mean,
And
it
was
has to
just
try
a
and
bit-
establish that as well.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
Those are some very sexist comments.
but it's written for that era.
The worst moment in it was the character, the stick. They're interrogating this guy, and your man who was in Boardwalk. Oh no, it's not your man, Chad Michael Murray or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh god,
And he
yeah,
sits
the
down
carrot
with the
and
guy, and he
stick.
has a carrot and a stick in his hand,
Yeah.
and he goes, depending, you pick one, and it's just like it's so bad.
Well,
And
that's
then,
what
and then
happened
eventually,
back
he,
then.
No.
then eventually he's eating the carrot, and the guy has the stick in his mouth, and he's punching him and stuff. And it's just like, it's just really.
It's
bad.
a weird show.
Yeah.
I think Agent Carter is going to be a cipher for setting up
Everything.
and hinting at stuff that we will know is coming. Like, I wonder if they did it another 2 or 3 years, like, will Dominic Cooper suddenly morph into Trevor Slattery? So,
and then you just like you'll see John Hamm just walk back.
because I mean, if you look at it, like, the age that they're trying to show Howard Stark in Agent Carter is a guy in his 30s and heading into his 40s, whereas in Iron Man 2,
He's
Trevor
in his
Slattery
50s.
looks to be in his 50s
Yeah.
and 60s. So I mean, you're looking at it maybe a 10 or 15 year gap.
Well, that was what the.
And
70s?
and the weird thing is, Trevor Slattery is going to be an Ant-Man
Yeah,
as Howard Stark.
and
Yeah,
that's
they're gonna-
he
there's
is.
gonna be
Sorry, I
flashbacks.
didn't see that.
There's going to be flashbacks.
and that's
Michael
set in the
Douglas as a
60s.
young man.
Mm-hmm.
And that's set in the 60s, which is only 10 years away.
Yeah, it's
in-
so
But that would
weird.
make sense. But when he was in Iron Man 2, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's Trevor Slattery.
And but that's kind of like late 70s.
It is.
flashback. So
I
it
know,
is-
but if Trevor Slattery is going to be in
It's gonna be so weird.
in Ant-Man,
Yeah.
which is supposed to be in
It's
the
still another
60s,
20
and
years
like
for him to
yeah,
get
but I
over.
mean, like, it's set in the show's set in the 50s. You don't know if there's going to be even a time jump, anything like that.
Yeah.
And I mean, if they try and say we're saying this is now happening mid to late 50s, heading into the 60s, you're like, okay, so when is he going to morph into Trevor
Yeah.
Slattery?
Maybe he has a face. Maybe he has a face change.
They're
We're
just making
also
him grayer and grayer.
Yeah.
We're also forgetting the magic of movies.
What? What fresh hell is this?
This is a Speaking Geek. I don't know.
But like it's like movie magic. They do loads of random crap, and they're just sort of like, but it's the
Well, I
movie.
suppose
it's
you-
Fantasyland.
You look,
Welcome to Fantasy Island. Did no one else think that?
you look at
Should have tattoo.
The playing boss. Wait, no, your tattoo.
I
Anywho.
wouldn't trust that guy anyway. He killed Kirk's son.
Well, Marvel already have precedent for it in that they've put Don Cheadle in as War Machine instead of.
That's true. And just that line was so I'm here. Get over it. And he's completely owned that role now.
You were just saying the Flash then because you've only seen the Flash.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I did like for me. I liked how the ending kind of mimicked what Wells was seeing in Gideon's newspaper thing. So it's kind of like mimicking the whole like, the Flash vanishes into a mysterious sort of vortexy
Yeah.
hole thing, and that's kind of what's happened at the end of it here. But I would have liked it not to just end with him literally just sort of going into it.
If you
Because
want more.
that was just too much of a cliffhanger. I would have liked maybe he ends up in sort of parallel land and he sort of looks around and goes, "Oh, what the hell is this?" and then end at that.
That would have been nice.
Yeah.
They can
I
have
I would have
would have
preferred
loved
that.
What?
They needed like another like 10 seconds on the end
It
of
was
that.
just-
of him,
yeah, just a
him
little
running
bit
faster
more.
and faster and faster, and him going like you're saying, getting trapped in the Speed Force or
Yeah.
something. They needed something a little bit more.
Just-
liked
was-
it.
but that was my only complaint of the final. I really liked it.
Yeah, me too.
Soz.
We could have had.
Although I will say that I would have preferred Iris to die than
Instead of
Eddie,
Eddie.
because like, literally for the entire thing I have just because I didn't read the comics, so I've literally just been going to Graham. I've been like, does she die? Can she die? Please, can she just die?
A lot of reviewers have been saying that the weakest part of both Arrow and Flash,
Yeah.
for a lot of the time, has been how the females have been written.
Yeah.
The
Agreed.
only
I was
good,
going to say that.
the only
earlier.
one that stands out that really
It's
is amazing
Felicity.
is Felicity.
She's
And she's gotten season 3. She got a bit down.
She was awful in season 3.
Season 3, like I mean, her highlight was when she got in the atom suit. That was hilarious. That was so cool.
I knew that was going to be her. Oh my god!
But
her
that's so
whole
great.
storyline with
Oliver.
Former
Brandon Routh.
I was going to say
Right.
former Superman.
Don't do that. He's still good.
Ray Palmer.
Ray
That
Palmer.
was just terrible.
I love Ray Palmer though. Isn't he great?
He was great.
He's great.
Except, do you think he always looks stoned?
He does.
I don't
You
know.
have this thing. You have this thing. People don't know this, but you have this. Shane has this thing where he's just like said that Brandon Routh has been stoned since Superman Returns.
When
That
he was
you
in
have seen-
Chuck, when he was
You-
Shaw
yeah, you-
in Chuck, you just look at his eyes. They're all bloodshot, and he's just like, he is not there.
He's always
Seriously.
smiling as well. I
Like-
think it's just the way that he smiles with the vacant eye.
There's a scene in Chuck.
Vacant eyes.
There's a scene in Chuck where he's just like, you need to learn something, Chuck. And he's gone. Like,
Oh, Shane.
like you're pretty sure
Oh, Shane.
that he's hanging from strings to try and help him stay up straight. Like, I don't know what it is. He might actually have a serious
He could.
eye problem, and if he does, I apologize. But otherwise, dude,
You
get
think
some
he's
help.
checked out all the time?
Sometimes he's just talking and there's nothing there.
Oh,
It's
he's
like the
just
lights are on and
delivering
nobody's home.
lines. Yeah, and you're just like, and he's going through these like bloodshot eyes, and you're just like, you can't hide that from the camera.
So
Just get him to talk to Kevin Smith.
so we've loved it. Like, I mean, it's still like, even if the finale we didn't really like, certain aspects of it, we can say The Flash has been an amazing season. And it built on from Arrow, which was amazing in first and second season. Well, first one was good. First one was good.
Got there.
Yeah, the second half was amazing.
Yeah.
How are we for Legends of Tomorrow? Or should I say DC's? I hate it. I'm so annoyed they put in DC's Legends of Tomorrow. It's like, we don't need to know that it's DC. It's like Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
From the trailer, I have two things I want to say. Is why isn't Robbie Amell there?
That's weird.
And secondly,
theory on that.
it looks terrible.
Why? It's so fantastic.
I think but they're all like secondary
awful.
characters, so I don't think together they can really
But Ray Palmer is a
carry it.
secondary
But
character.
I don't think they can
Oh, yeah.
carry it though. That's the thing. Unless they put
Ray
Palmer as
and
the
Victor
the
Garber.
lead of
Oh,
the
he
sort
is
of
the
group.
lead. He is the lead.
Him and Victor
one of
Garber
you
can
told me
hold-
no when I
pull
said
it.
that last time.
I just need to correct Graham on something.
Mm.
You said earlier that Stephen Amell said he's not wearing the Arrow suit anymore.
No, he
What-
said he's
what
not
was
wearing
he-
the Arrow suit.
What was he wearing in the trailer for DC's Legends?
I know,
of
that was
Tomorrow?
weird, wasn't it?
Yeah,
That was
he was
weird.
in the Green Arrow suit.
Yeah, but
And they spoiled that Sarah's still alive as well. With it.
Well, they showed it they showed what happened.
Maybe this
in
is the paradox world.
Hey, maybe that.
This is actually a time travel show
Yeah.
because Rip Hunter is in it.
And it's
Arthur
Rory-
Darvill, who was in Doctor Who
like
as
Rory
Rory,
Pond.
is going to be Rip Hunter.
That's
I
amazing.
loved the introduction of Rip Hunter.
Yeah.
You're all
So
you're all not
legends.
heroes. You're legends.
But Captain
But-
Cold?
But
Well, in
like
the
the
New 52, he's a good guy right now. In the New
Oh, is he?
52, he's a good guy.
To me,
Like-
it felt like they just kind of went, "Oh, we have no one else, so we'll use Captain Cold as a good guy."
And Heatwave. He wasn't shown in the
Yeah.
trailer, but he's in it.
Heatwave is in, yeah.
He was on the roof
Yeah.
just on your thing
Was he?
about
when they were doing their speech.
Really?
Yeah.
Did not see him. Also, do you notice Hot Girl was in the season finale? Flash?
yeah.
Yeah, she was there.
Yeah.
She was the girl with. She was looking when the singularity is happening,
Yeah.
and
Which
it
kind of
shows
vacant-
random people. Like Captain Cold is apparently outside
Oh, I
in
thought
his
that was
full
your
gear.
one Blink or whatever. her
No,
name is,
that's Captain Cold. That's that girl with the weird kind of grey hair. That's Hot Girl. Ah.
Is that her official name or
What?
Hot Girl?
Hawk Girl.
Oh, Hawk Girl. I heard
I-
Hot Girl.
yeah, I heard
was
Hot Girl the
really
first time.
confused.
No, what I am so excited for, but also very scared for, is Vandal Savage as the villain. If you could
Yes.
ever top Ra's al Ghul, it's Vandal Savage,
Yeah.
an immortal who cannot be killed.
I love
Like that's
Randall.
now you
Eats
gotta
people.
now you gotta really watch out now. Who do you cast as Vandal Savage?
John Hamm.
Oh wow, that's great. But he's Negan.
just
He's gonna
came to me
he's
right
gonna be
now.
he's gonna be Negan in the next season of Walking Dead. So
Is that confirmed?
he's talked about a lot. He very
He's
much
still
wants to
making
be
that
in.
show.
I stopped watching after the mid-season finale.
The
of
news,
that show.
it's been amazing. I have to say, it's been really great. If Daryl ever dies, I'll stop watching it. But you know, that'll never
But
happen.
we're going to interview Merle in a.
Oh, that's gonna be
couple
amazing!
months, Dublin Comic Con.
Because Michael Rooker is coming to Dublin for Dublin
DCC,
Comic Con.
yeah.
Yeah, Dublin Comic Con is really looking to be amazing this year.
Yeah.
I've read Power Ranger. Sure, it's not the original, but I liked Rocky.
Dr. Crusher,
Dr. Crusher.
Katie
I haven't-
McFadden. That's
Yeah.
going to be.
I'm going to just talk to her about Will Wheaton.
Don't talk to her about Will. Wheaton.
talk to her as if
What,
he's
does
her
she-
actual
does she
son.
hate? Does she hate Will Wheaton?
Wheatle.
Will Wheaton? Does she hate Will? They're friends. I thought they were really good friends.
Yeah, he's her mom.
I'm pretty,
He's
pretty
her
sure
mom.
she doesn't want to spend time talking about Will
She's
Wheaton
his
and
mom,
shut
so-
up Wesley.
Colin Ferguson talked about Will Wheaton.
I don't say, she only said shut up Wesley like once. Everybody else said it all the time.
I was actually reading a Tumblr post from Will Wheaton yesterday. He was talking about how
Which
like he
Wheaton?
doesn't use Facebook a lot, and he was just kind of saying like, look, if you really want to follow me, follow me. If not, you're
Twitter.
not going to see an awful lot. But he said, here are the rules of things that I do on the internet. Don't tweet me or don't write to me and say, shut up, Wesley. You will be blocked and I will boot you. I've heard it too.
That's amazing.
He pretty much said, I have heard it too many times now to actually care.
I imagine that was one of the first memes. Shut up, Wesley.
Actually, one of the best Wesley memes I ever saw was a picture of Wesley and Jean-Luc Picard. And Jean-Luc Picard says, Wesley, what's the difference between your mother and the Prime Directive?
Oh, God.
I haven't violated the Prime Directive. And there's a brilliant last image of Will Wheaton as Wesley, just like,
That's great.
Oh, my God, that's amazing.
Oh, God.
Which is funny because in the next gen books after Picard and Crusher get married, actually.
Do they?
Oh, really?
Oh, that's so nice.
so he actually does violate her.
Because she was kind of a cock tease. That whole series, she was a cock tease
Dana
to him.
Troy was the cock tease.
No, I'm sorry.
They had this whole thing where they put on that there was like
They were
thing between Worf and Riker. Even though Worf never had a chance against Riker.
he had her for at least a season.
Riker had the beard. That's all.
So did Worf.
I think
And
that's just
Nothing
his face.
trumps Riker's beard.
But he loses it, like, every now and then. He just goes, no
It's
beard.
Captain Babyface.
Oh, yeah, that was really funny. As smooth as an android's bottom. Data just punches it. Nope.
That's a really good meme as well.
That's one of the best lines from the movies.
Yeah.
And you know, it's like, I mean, a lot of people don't realize this.
That's the best
Yeah.
line.
It is, yeah.
Tom Hardy started was one of his early
He
careers.
was
Was
Picard's
playing
clone.
a young Jean-Luc Picard.
He was his clown.
And it's just like in Nemesis,
Nemesis,
Yeah,
yeah.
the last film.
Actually,
Which
speaking of Hardy,
Got a lot of hate for,
Yeah.
which was not that bad.
It's not that
film.
bad. It's not as bad as Insurrection.
No.
God, I hate that film.
It was a really, really good 2-hour episode.
Yes.
This wasn't a very good film.
Yes.
speaking of Tom Hardy, he is in talks with DC to do another role.
Yeah, no one knows what though.
And
Yeah.
no one knows what. So he does have form to be on TV shows. So
Yes.
he's done.
Vandal Savage who talks like this.
Well, you did hear like he's
wants
interested in
Punisher.
Punisher,
Oh yeah.
and I would think that's a very logical step for Daredevil. Have another vigilante show up who's not afraid to kill,
Yeah.
and
Be
that
great.
will test Daredevil.
I wonder if Punisher comes in. I want to see the bloody scene from Civil War with him holding
Holding
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I want to see that.
but it
Someone
would
get
have
me
to
a goddamn
be, it would have to be an Iron Spider.
I don't have to
That
do
suit
the
has to
Iron
happen.
Spider, will they?
No, it won't have the same impact as it did in the comic because the whole point is it's him choosing sides.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have we all read the supposed leaked synopsis of Civil War and what it actually
No,
is?
I'm trying to stay away from that.
Ooh,
as
tell
far as
me
possible.
everything.
I do. Like the only thing I know is that the cast is ridiculous, and they're not done.
Yeah, it just keeps getting more and more and more and more and more people are being signed on, but their character is not being released.
Yeah, like Martin Freeman, we don't know who that is, though the rumor is it might be Norman Osborn.
No, Norman Osborn's apparently the rumor for
Matthew McConaughey.
Matthew McConaughey.
All right.
Yeah,
The-
that'd be really good actually.
Yeah.
The role for Martin Freeman is either going to be an Avengers liaison,
Mm-hmm.
or he is going to be someone who's connected to Black Panther.
Mm.
Civil War is going to be like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in that it's going to borrow the name of a famous comic,
Yep.
but not actually.
And
be,
Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
Did I not say? Josh.
They're going to steal it like.
They're going to
They're
literally
gonna-
just take the
it's
name
gonna be
of
a
the
liberal,
comic.
yeah, because basically
They're
have
going
no
to have probably elements of it, just not actually.
They have enough characters though now.
I think even the same with Infinity War, it's not going to be the exact same as Infinity
No, 'cause they
Gauntlet.
can't.
Like it can't be. Otherwise, like you'd have to try and put the replacement Thor that isn't actually Thor in.
Clore. He was dubbed Clone Thor,
Pretty much.
and they called him Clore.
But I think
Yeah.
it's going to be one of those films that it will live and die by its writing, and and the fact that Joe and Anthony Russo are writing and directing it, and also going to be writing Infinity War, means I have a little bit of faith that they will actually pull it off.
I think they're going to do a better job than Whedon.
I think I'm just really sad that
I think Joss actually just was bound too much in by the studio.
Yeah.
Like I mean,
in chains.
We've read his
So
Empire
much.
or listened to his Empire podcast, and in it he talks about how much he had over him from the studio, where like he literally had to fight for the scenes where they went to Hawkeye's farm, and he had to fight about the Thor dreams. So basically,
I hated those things.
the reason why they are so bad is because they were so much more.
Yeah, I know.
Like, he had an entire sequence laid out where he was going to be talking to actual people instead of him being the person who talks through the vision, or the visions of that he sees are talked through him. Like, it was going to be Selvig talking to other people, and there was the image from one of the Avengers trailers of a woman.
Yeah,
that was going to be in there. A lot of people thought that was Black Panther's sister, but it was actually going to be all a part of the dream sequence or the cave
Lady
sequence.
Hydra.
I think going forward,
I'm just waiting for the 3.5 hour director's cut.
Yeah.
which is coming.
And it's going to have Tom Hiddleston in it as well.
Yep.
He's
credited.
Yeah.
If you watch the thing, when we came out, it was like, Tom Hiddleston's name is there.
Yeah.
They still would have had to have credited him.
No, he's in it.
No, because
no. But even though he's not actually in the edit, the final shot.
If your scene gets cut, you're not credited anymore.
It depends.
I can tell you that for certain.
Guys, actually, yeah.
Thanks for rubbing it in. But if so, he's going to be down, and he'll just be down as being in it, but like uncredited. So he's going to have that little bracket around his name or after his name on IMDb, and then because it's in like a deleted scene, it might get changed to another. They do have some other title for it.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it's going to remain as like. He's not going to be officially credited as such.
But it is cool. It's also very sad because I was just listening there to some stuff, and apparently Joss Whedon was very sad after he came out of Age of Ultron because he wanted that to be his last film. It's like one film just by itself, just one self-contained adventure that could stand on its own, like Captain America: Winter Soldier. And then when he came out of the cinema, he could just hear people going, "Oh wow, I can't wait for this, and this. It set it up so well." And he's just like, little part of me died just now.
But that was never going to happen with Age of
I know, but I don't think he realised that until it was too late. And now he wants to work with DC because he knows that if he gets down on the ground floor of this new thing that they're trying, he could have a lot of sway. And I think he should do it.
I don't think he should. I think he should literally try and move to more of his own auteur stuff.
Yeah, well, that's what he's doing right now.
Well, that's like... Joss Whedon is one of those people, I love loads of his stuff, but he's one of those people who's always having trouble with the studio. Yes. And a little bit of that is him as well.
He is a mouthpiece.
He's the common factor in all of it.
Like, it's sort of thing of you're hired to do an Avengers movie by Marvel, Disney. You're not going to get complete freedom of it.
No.
So don't delude yourself.
For the first one. Pretty much, that's his film. The first one was pretty much his film.
But they did have some sort of input to it.
They had, and to be fair, that was still the culmination of it has gotten worse.
They had to let him to have a little more creative freedom because he knew the characters a little. At the time, he probably would have been and is the best and was the best person for the job. Now that you've got to see the Russos come in, who also have deals with Sony and stuff like that for the time period.
Sorry, you just put something into my head there. I have heard a rumour now. I may be really, really, really late in the game with this one, but am I right in thinking that Fox only have the rights to the X-Men until Apocalypse? So Apocalypse is going to be their last film with the rights to X-Men.
Because Gambit's coming after, and so is Deadpool.
And
it's Hugh Jackman's last film.
I know that, but there was something said, I can't remember where I saw it, but it was hinting that by the time everything sort of runs out, they're going to be able to pick some X-Men to be in the second Infinity War.
No. Because the Fox are also developing a X-Men TV show.
And X-Force as well, the movie.
So they're really just not letting Marvel have it back.
No, and it's getting...
and it's bled into the comics.
It's bled into the
comics.
Fox own Mutants.
That's it. So and the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
They don't
own the rights to the Fantastic Four.
Nobody cares about Fantastic Four.
Well, they own the rights to the X-Men and the use of the term
mutants, which is really sad.
Avengers, they were miracles.
No, they're not. They were
enhanced.
Well, they were called miracles in the...
Yeah, I think that did not target. I don't think that tested well.
They still said it.
They still said it's our age of miracles. Okay. Oh, and will you live past the first 5 minutes of the film, Baron? No.
That's such a waste of
a waste of an actor.
So basically, if any of us see that write up anywhere on the internet, we can just sort of say, no, you're
it's
wrong.
Non-news.
Grant.
Because it's probably not true.
Don't share it.
I brought it up there. the whole notion of Marvel and Fox fighting with each other over not
Everything.
only X-Men but the FF, the Fantastic Four, even Deadpool and so on.
Mm-hmm.
It's no coincidence that Disney, as a parent of Marvel, have said, okay, you guys can have all those characters for your movie universe. We're going to pull as much merchandise to do with any of your movie properties from our shelves so that you guys cannot get the exposure that you would have gotten.
Terrible.
Which I think is a really, really shitty move.
It's Disney. At the end of the day, they're still kind of scary.
Like the recall of those statues.
The dioramas were amazing.
They were awesome. They were amazing. If you guys haven't seen it, we have a article on the site. I can't pull it now.
Yeah, money went up.
It's where certain maquettes, statues, one amazing one of a
Colossus.
Sentinel and Colossus, another fantastic one of Cable, all ready to go and were ready to be put into production, and Marvel pulled the plug and said they are on hold indefinitely. They also
for reasons they cannot disclose.
like they probably signed some ironclad NDAs. Also, Marvel in the comic books have killed Wolverine. Sorry, I'm gonna just spoil a few things.
No, please, that's months old. No one. That's not a spoiler.
It's actually ruined my life a little bit.
They've killed Wolverine. They've killed Deadpool, or are killing Deadpool. I'm not sure whether that's happened
He'll be
yet.
back.
They are breaking up the Fantastic Four. They are cancelling the Fantastic Four book, which is one of the longest running comic books.
Yeah. First family of comics.
Yeah, they were.
1963.
They're pissing off the fans.
They are, and then of course they are. After Secret Wars is over, the X-Men are getting a very weird kind of movement where they're all being moved to another planet. If that report is actually true,
Yeah, I heard they're just getting rid of the X-Men.
they're just getting rid of the X-Men.
Pretty much let the X-Men have their own adventures in some kind of bubble universe, which is weird and not interact with any of the rest of the Marvel universe.
Well, like I on one hand, I can sort of see like it's going to be really, really annoying for the fans, but from say like Marvel's point of view, they're kind of like these are our characters and we don't have control over them in this way.
Yeah.
Where in fact, like when you think about it, they should. There are Marvel characters, so you can see it from their point of view that they're kind of like, okay, so if you want to keep this character going, then all right, Fox, you go ahead and you start making these comics.
I don't even think it's that. I think with the characters and with Marvel's decision, it's a case of who will blink first. I genuinely think Marvel are the bad guys here.
They
Because
are.
Two teenagers in the 50s on a road driving souped up hot rod cars at each other.
What is with you?
Whoever
Going back
turns
in
first
time.
wins or loses.
Like I mean, if Sony and Marvel's deal taught us anything, is that it is possible.
Why can't we all just get
But
along?
the thing about that is, I can't think. What's the executive from Sony?
The woman.
Yeah,
That one.
She
That one that everyone knows.
she has a relationship.
Honestly,
She's had a working relationship with Kevin Feige for years.
Yeah.
So I mean,
I just can't remember her name.
oh, that's gonna annoy me.
I know.
If we have show notes, I'll suggest we put them in.
We don't. Don't look at me like that.
Graham is the arbiter of our fate here.
You can do it if you want.
This is a point
No.
where you just edit you in going, that person's name. Like, you're really
I will put that in. That person's name.
But I mean, like that worked because there was already a working relationship between. Like I mean, during when Mark Webb was doing the first Amazing Spider-Man, they wanted to have the Avengers New York skyline in. Or it was the other way around. I think they wanted to have the Amazing Spider-Man skyline in Avengers, which included the Oscorp building that they had.
Oh yeah.
So they, as far back as then, there was already going to be rumblings of the two of them coming together to bring Spider-Man in, whether at the time would have been Andrew Garfield or not. But I think it's a poor move because it alienates so many fans. However, I do think they are hoping, and this is Marvel and Disney I'm talking about, I do think they are hoping that people vote with their wallets and not go and see the movies, and hope that they perform so badly. Well, in the case of the Fantastic Four, I genuinely think while it looks good, I think it won't perform well at all.
I think it's going to perform really well.
I don't think
I think it's going to be a
it looks
sleeper
good at
hit.
all.
I think it's going to be a sleeper hit. I think it's going to be I think it's going to do the same kind of levels, not as big as Kingsman. This is my prediction. I think it's going to be almost as big as Kingsman. It's going to be a sleeper hit.
It's not, because like there's so many complaints already about all of the changes that they've done to it. So like people just aren't going to, they're not going to accept this new version of the Fantastic Four. So people are either just not going to see it or go see it and say it's shit.
Like, I
and
mean,
it actually doesn't look very good in the trailer either. I disagree.
think it looks really good.
But they've already planned 2 of them, didn't they?
they've announced the sequel
with no Josh
release
Trank.
date. Now, what I will say, I'm completely pissed off with some of the cast. Well, actually, one cast member in particular.
Racist? Are you a racist?
No. It's Kate Mara.
So Kate Mara?
Kate Mara, in some of her interviews with people about the movie, has been completely ambivalent about the source material. Literally said, I don't care, it was just a job. Same with...
Oh, no.
Same with, what's his name?
Miles Teller?
No, yes, Miles Teller.
Oh, no.
Both of them have literally just said, yeah, we don't care. Like, it's just a job. We just turned up, did our lines. Whereas Johnny...
Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan has genuinely showed a kind of reverence for some of the material. So, like, I mean, when you've got...
What about Jamie Bell?
I haven't heard or seen much of Jamie Bell. I think Jamie Bell will probably only really hear his thoughts once they do start doing press rounds in the next couple of weeks. The movie's coming out in August. So
Oh, God, it is.
So it's...
That's actually a lot further away than I expected it to be.
Yeah.
So in the next couple of weeks you'll probably see press events and stuff like that, and press junkets and stuff like that for them to talk about the movie.
I mean, I can't wait for it. I mean, I like what they've done, but I mean, I'm someone who accepts change, and also it's based loosely on the Ultimate Universe, which was a great comic series. I mean, it made some great changes, like how they turned Reed, like, again, spoilers, but this is not new. When they turned Reed into that kind of universe as Kang the Conqueror, he went insane. He went insane.
He wasn't their Kang. He was their Doctor Doom initially.
No, but Doctor Doom's already in it. Victor Van Damme.
Oh, that's right. Sorry.
Yeah, he basically becomes their Kang the Conqueror because he kind of becomes a time traveler. It's weird. But he becomes this insane sociopath. And I'm hoping, because they've done the Ultimate Universe now, like they've stated, it's based on the Ultimate Universe.
Oh, yeah.
Even though Johnny is black, but whatever. I mean, like, if they go down that route, that could be an amazing storyline to follow.
But Reed he's always been that kind of character who's been very logical and cold and like.
Yeah.
Did you read Marvel Zombies?
Yeah, he's brilliant.
And he spends like ages trying to find a cure, and then he suddenly comes to the conclusion that it's the next step of evolution.
Yeah, it's very creepy.
And then he just he infects the rest of the Fantastic Four and stuff, and he's like, "It's our future. We have to embrace it and stuff."
And then he uses he uses a teleporter to teleport to alternate universes and infect other universes.
Because he believes it's what should happen.
Yeah, like that version, the zombie Reed comes to contact with the ultimate version of Reed. Oh, yeah. It's really funny, and he goes, "Oh my god!" And he goes, "I know, right? I'm so cool." So
I do have one question now, because I actually think that Miles Teller might be too cool to be Reed now.
I thought that as well.
No, I don't think so.
He comes across as a bit of a dick to me.
Are you just basing that on Whiplash?
No,
in everything he's in.
He
always kind of plays a bit of a douche.
He does.
So it's kind of weird. I'd say douche rather than dick.
Yeah.
there is a difference.
Yeah, there is a difference between a douche and a dick. Let's face it.
No.
What?
I'm trying to ape Kevin Smith.
Oh, no.
Who loves cock?
He does. So weird.
He just never stops talking about it.
Oh, like, I mean, I love listening. Like, every week I'm looking forward to everything. My podcasts now are just education, Fat Man and Batman, and Hollywood Babylon. That's all I listen to now.
I am so tweeting him this episode.
Like, it's amazing. I love all his work because him and everyone that he works with has a great rapport, and it's clearly him. Like, I mean, he's great with who he works with.
I say Walrus, yes.
I haven't seen it.
No.
Have you seen Tusk yet?
No, but I support it any way possible.
I've heard terrible things about it, but I still want to give him a thumbs up.
Yeah,
because
me too.
He's so nice.
Like, I mean, he's a director who goes for anything, really.
Yeah.
Like, he tries anything.
It went down kind of well at TIFF. Like, it was.
Yeah,
it was
you
very
were there that year, weren't you?
I was there that year.
Have you seen it?
I didn't get to see it. No,
She was running after Benedict Cumberbatch.
With my cousin Erin, yeah. We camped out for Benedict Cumberbatch, who basically hit every single person waiting outside the theatre except for the little block of group that we were at.
Oh,
because a tram came by and he needed to be brought inside because Keira Knightley was showing up, and she basically like waved at the crowd and went inside.
Imitation game.
Speaking
It was
of
an imitation game, yeah.
Speaking of Benedict Cumberbatch, we also hear of another casting.
It is a
news
weird
for,
name.
For
Stephen
his
Strange.
Marvel movie Doctor Strange. We hear of Tilda Swinton.
Oh,
That is a
Coming.
weird casting. And not because she's a woman. Like, I mean, that would be kind of cool.
Who's
Like,
she playing?
she's the ancient one, his mentor.
Oh, yeah.
Like, do you know what'd be funny? She's the only actress I think could actually play him as a male.
Yeah, no, like I totally agree. Because like the whole thing when Kate Blanchett did the Bob Dylan film and played Bob Dylan.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
But Tilda
So,
Swinton has
but, like,
done this before.
Yeah, and like so Tilda Swinton has that kind of like androgynous kind of
Yeah.
look about her, so she'd be able to do it perfectly, and she'd probably be able to do it better than some of the guys that they
Yeah,
might
she
have
would, she would.
considered.
And we need
Like
a
the
strong
alternative
female.
choice is David Bowie.
Yeah.
So
Actually, David
That would
Bowie
be
will be
amazing.
amazing in
Oh
anything.
my god.
I take back everything I just said.
Oh, David. Oh, I just got it. David
just was like
Bowie.
androgynous. I was like,
David Bowie is Vandal Savage. There we go.
No.
Why?
That would be hilarious.
Vandal Savage. It would be very funny.
Hello, lovelies. I'm Vandal Savage. Just like,
You have a very interesting idea of what Vandal Savage is like.
And I was also going to say, have you ever
David
heard
Bowie
David
played
Bowie
it.
talk?
But like,
only from
I
Venture
think
Brothers.
Vandal Savage to me needs to be just a big hulking brute who's able to be
Really smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, because
Like,
he's a
like he
Neanderthal
was a
Yeah.
Neanderthal who developed.
Superpowers.
from an astro or a
Yeah,
A meteorite,
He's
yeah.
the first. He's basically the first superhuman.
Manu
Yeah.
Bennett, that's him.
No, he can't be. He's already Deathstroke.
Oh, darn.
The one thing I did
Who's
have a
one of the
problem
most underused characters of all time.
like one thing I did have a problem with is the continuity of writing within the CW is that, you know, Stephen Amell, Green Arrow, is giving that speech in the
Trailer.
Legends of Tomorrow trailer, and he's like, his name is Vandal Savage. He has the best and biggest army you've ever seen. But in the season of Arrow, you're led to believe that Ra's al Ghul has the
best
biggest
army.
and best
Yeah.
army.
Like I think you know when they're in the season finale of Arrow when they're talking
Yeah.
about Damien Dark.
Yes.
I think that's Vandal Savage as that's one of his aliases. I think that's Vandal
Damien Dark
Savage.
is an actual character. Though.
Is he?
Yeah, Damien.
Who is he?
He's an obscure character. Like DC have.
Yeah, they have a ton. To be fair,
Like I mean, the CW have license to use as many characters as they
and
wish.
that's
But the thing is, like, Damien Dark is a very obscure character who does have ties to Hive, who is the.
and they keep mentioning that every now and then. Do you notice
Hive-
Hive keeps being brought up every now and
That's
then?
because Hive are the villains for season 4.
There's
Maybe I thought it was going to be.
Oh, I'm trying to think of his name now. There's the guy he's the other person who was affected by the same asteroid
Oh,
that made
yeah.
Vandal Savage. Is he just like the Immortal Man or something? I'm trying to think.
Oh yes, I know you're talking
I'm
about.
trying to think of his name, but I wonder will they bring him in?
They might. I mean, it's the fact that they're doing all of this in
That
CW and
That would be a great CW show.
Warner Brothers.
This story.
really
do.
the Immortal Man.
I did like the at that came in through the ceiling.
Sorry.
The at the AT leg that came in through.
Oh
the ceiling.
yeah, that was so weird. It's just like, oh, okay, a
Oh,
robot.
sorry, in the trailer.
Okay,
I was like, what are you talking
I
about?
was like, oh, okay, a
I
robot.
was like, the window here.
But you know what's I'm really interested in seeing is the fact that we keep hearing so many castings, like Matthew McConaughey is apparently going to be Norman Osborn. The latest one, Chris Pine as Colonel Steve Trevor.
I
A
can see
lot
it.
of people wanted him to be Hal.
I can see it. I can see him being that kind of military man who's the
Yeah.
liaison to Wonder Woman, and
Falls in love with her.
And I love the fact that it's him that falls in love with her, and she.
If they did bring him in, it'd be really funny if he fell in love with Gamora, just like Green Woman.
Oh yeah,
Chris Pine.
even though that's a cross pollination
Pine.
of brands.
Yeah, Kirk.
Yeah, but why'd you say Gamora?
Yeah, because she's an alien.
She's
And he-
Green Woman. He's Kirk.
But
Come on, Graham, you can do this.
I can,
It's also Zoe Saldana, who is
Yeah.
also Uhura in Star Trek.
Oh, yeah,
connections. Everyone is doing everything now.
And it always seems to be the same sort of people. Who are
Yeah,
kind of like in
at this stage, it's kind of gotten to. Have we
So-
reached oversaturation?
I thought we reached over
Well, we've
saturation
another
last year.
we've another what 34 movies over the next 2 years. So
No,
Three.
no,
Oh, it's
no.
over the next 3
It's
years.
3 at least.
No, actually, Kevin Feige has said that he's got stuff planned right out to 2020 into the 2020s.
Is it 2017 is the big year, isn't it? There's,
Yeah,
Yeah.
There were
Yeah.
just like.
Though to be
7
fair,
movies in
I'm
the-
looking forward
More.
to I'm
Yeah,
looking
isn't
forward to 2018. Inhumans. I can't wait to see what they're
like
going to do. with
all we have left this year is Ant-Man.
No,
And
that's not
isn't
it.
and Ant-Man,
Fantastic
Ant-Man,
Four.
Fantastic
them.
Four.
That's what
No, I'm counting just Marvel.
Oh
Sorry.
yeah,
Well, technically, Fantastic Four is Marvel.
Is Marvel.
Going
They're
back
still,
to our
they're
earlier
still making money off them.
Sorry.
But I
Marvel
mean-
Cinematic Universe.
They-
But
There you go.
you do have to say that
Ant-Man.
now.
The thing about Ant-Man caps off phase 2.
Mm-hmm.
It
Do you know
doesn't. It isn't the start of phase 3.
I'm going to say this now. I'm just going to throw it out. Ant-Man might introduce Spider-Man.
No.
It's
already in the
Might
can.
show him.
What do you think of Ant-Man since the extended trailer?
I haven't watched it.
I haven't seen
Oh,
it
it looks so
either.
funny.
I
It looks
haven't
like
watched
it's going
it.
to be hilarious.
But I like Corey Stoll. I'm just sad that Yellow Jacket is a separate character.
Yeah, that doesn't make
That
any sense
annoys
to
me. Oh yeah, I suppose it really doesn't make sense to you. Because it's so weird. Because
I do know that the backstory.
I'm just making sure.
Okay, yeah. I know. I tend to be the one sort of going "Gwa," like behind the scenes here
Yeah.
for most of this, but like I do know some things.
I know you read Civil War.
Yeah.
Well, like we're having a lot of good fun here talking about movies from
But never the serious shit.
From the series of like Marvel, DC, and so on. What other TV shows or movies are you guys watching now that you've seen that you've really, really found?
I liked Spy. I saw Spy recently. It's not out yet. It's surprisingly funny. Melissa McCarthy. I couldn't believe it.
Oh, is that the one where she becomes like?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's actually
Spy
funny.
I will
the
never
British guy.
watch a Melissa McCarthy.
Jason Statham is the funniest person in that whole film. He's amazing because he
Oh,
plays
Tim,
on what we all believe he is.
It's him and
Jude Law.
Jude Law.
Yeah, Jude Law's
Oh, okay.
Jude Law's not really in it, but what he's in, he's very funny. But he does a terrible American accent. I don't think he should do American accents.
Olivia, based on your review, I actually really want to see Danny Collins.
Danny Collins nearly it literally had me in floods of tears at times from just it being like so emotional, and then it also had me like crying from laughter at the other times. It is just such a really, really good film, and then also the fact that you get to see Pacino sort of back at his best.
I was about to ask, is Pacino?
He is
doing
brilliant. Like I've described in my review, I described the character of Danny Collins to be a bit like Cliff Richard, who just constantly tours around the place, and all of his fans get let out of the home for the day and go see him, and they just keep shouting, sing the same song over and over again.
Oh yeah.
So you can kind of like. You could definitely see, like, you'd know, like, at least one L1 that would be in that kind of audience.
Is
Kind of
Christopher
thing.
Plummer singing it?
No, he doesn't. The relationship between Plummer's character, Frank, and Danny is actually really, really good. And it's kind of funny because there was another film, which I cannot think of right now, where Pacino played the manager to Plummer's...
Oh, wow.
I don't know if it was singer or actor or something like that. But in this one, the roles are reversed. But his
Very
lines
nice.
are some of like the funniest things ever, and like they have some just
like
perfect
Christopher Plummer.
conversations of like they are best friends. They can say anything to each other. And like the thing is, from the trailer, it definitely looks like a cliched film. It does. But then again, I think the trailer is kind of brilliant in the way that it doesn't spoil how they did everything differently to the usual cliches. So in that kind of sense, it's like, I hope people can kind of like power through the trailer to go see it, and then they'll kind of go,
Just don't see the
oh,
trailer.
okay, like it didn't give anything away, which is, I think, brilliant.
And
I
I
heard
was
it's got a great soundtrack as well.
Oh, it's so good. And
I
even like, I know Al Pacino apologized for his singing, but I didn't think it was that bad. I know pop stars, or like even like some of the Eurovision entries that were singing worse than he did. So like when he starts singing "Hey Baby Doll," you are going to be dancing in your seat.
actually think I got invited to Sony. Sony showed off some of their films. I got to see a bit of R.L. Stein's Goosebumps, the film about
Jack
him.
Black?
Jack Black. It's really funny.
Oh, really?
Well,
Yeah, it's actually got
I
some
would
really
expect a
great
lot
lines.
of humour with a Jack Black movie.
He obviously leads it, and it's very interesting because it's kind of like does it like a R.L. Stein actually created these things, and they're trapped in the books,
Oh.
and some kid accidentally
cool.
opens the books, and it unleashes all these monsters that we would know
From
from
the series?
all the Goosebumps books.
Do we see the dummy?
Yes,
please
it's
tell-
the first. It's the first book.
Yes!
It's the first book that's mentioned, and it's so funny because there's this one line they're getting chased by this giant insect, and he's like, and Jack Black's character just goes, "I don't remember creating a giant praying mantis," and then it spits all this crap on the car, and he goes, "Oh, yeah, I remember now."
Oh, so he plays? Or
He plays R.L. Stein. It's
That's
amazing.
awesome. That's
all-
a really good way to try and do a
Sony
Goosebumps movie.
Sony showed off so many really good films. They showed off Hotel Transylvania 2, which looks amazing. The first time I've ever said to an Adam Sandler film, that looks funny. In I think maybe a couple of years.
Is that an animated movie?
It is, and it looks amazing.
Because
And-
they've
and
had a first one.
They had a
and
first
then
one.
This is the second one.
That's mean. And then the film that I really was interested in when I saw Concussion, Will Smith's new film, that it hasn't even like I saw literally 30 seconds of it, and I didn't even realize it was him talking. It's so powerful what he's talking about. Like he's this, I believe it's this neurosurgeon in the NFL.
Oh, is this
And-
about the okay, I think I know a little bit
Yeah.
about this, where he's the guy who launches the inquiry into the NFL
Yes.
and the reason why
Mhm.
they're having so many concussed
Yes.
players.
That's it.
Awesome.
And it looks amazing. For the 30 seconds, I was just watching him just act, and it's just like, how long has it been since Will Smith has just sat down, just properly acted in a film that really brought you into it? And it just reminded me,
I Am
he's a
Legend.
and how long ago was that?
Yeah.
That's the last time I
I
remember
know.
a
I
good
was going
Will
to say
Smith
Pursuit to
performance.
Happiness.
Or even the yeah.
But that's before then. That's even before then, isn't it? That's
Is
before.
it?
I think so.
No.
I think it came after.
I think it was.
Maybe
was
at
it,
least
is
same
it
year.
£7? Is it the one that, like,
£7.
I think that's the one he
yeah.
lost people with.
Yeah.
Because
And then
it was one of those movies that he just made. He's just like, I'm going to try and win an Oscar with this one. And it's just like, oh.
But I mean, that's all down to both him and his agent and his people trying to
Yeah.
kind of find a vehicle for him to actually star in.
Do you know what the weirdest thing was, though, when I was at the Sony presentation? They were talking about Spider-Man being in Marvel.
Oh, is that really?
They were showing trailers. They were showing bits, but it was not of a new Spider-Man. It was all of Andrew Garfield. And it was just like, but they were like basically going, Sony and Marvel together are going to be like a brilliant Spider-Man. And then it's just, Synergy. if Jack Donaghy has taught us anything, it's that synergy is amazing. And it's just like, it was really sad because when they showed the little bit of Spider-Man going around and saying, you know, Spider-Man is coming to Marvel, is coming home, basically. They had Andrew Garfield line just going, you know what the best thing about being Spider-Man is? Everything. And it actually made me just tear up a little because I was like, he just missed out. He just missed out, and he deserved all of it. He deserved every bit of good coming to him because I thought he was a great Spider-Man.
To be fair, he burnt all of his bridges shortly after the second Amazing Spider-Man movie came out when he heavily criticised Sony.
It's a very heavily criticizable film.
But he heavily criticised Sony for their interfering. Like a lot of the blame from him anyway was laid at the feet of Sony and of their interference in how the story was supposed to go.
Yeah.
The whole notion and idea that there was going to be an Aunt May spin-off.
That was so funny.
And so on.
Oh, yeah.
Shane here is looking at our time.
Yeah, no, I was just saying, do we have any questions?
Yes,
From people.
Tom, do we have any questions? You're the questions guy.
I'm the questions guy.
It's all right.
With my phone on.
Pause for a minute.
Like, Tom, it's all right. I can edit this out.
Cool.
It's no
We can
problem.
Pause for a minute, shall we?
Like, but we will have to finish my house.
So we've come to that point in the podcast where we have questions from listeners.
Our few listeners.
We are working to get more. We have one question from Mr. Paul McGlynn.
Hello, Paul McLean.
He asks, which comic book series have you once loved that went and had a spectacular nosedive or had a complete left turn that turned you off thereafter?
Hellraiser.
Green
You mean-
Arrow after the New 52. Even though I'm
After
still
after the first arc?
And after I've still been buying Green Arrow every month
Mm-hmm.
because I love it and I've bought it forever.
And it's gotten
But-
better.
That's
But
one of
it's
those
really
things.
hard. I found like I would turn around and realize I have 6 of them to read because it was just so terrible, and I'm still like way behind. And it's just.
What about the Jeff Lemire run? I heard that's really,
It was
really
a lot
good.
better. That's the stuff with the Outsiders.
Yeah,
Is it-
and Andrea Sorrentino's art.
Yeah, no,
He's
like,
amazing.
some of the art has been brilliant and it's gotten a lot better. But the first arc was some of the worst comic book writing I've
Yeah.
ever read in my life.
Olivia,
It was
did you
so
say
bad.
Hellraiser?
Are you talking about?
No, I meant Hellblazer.
Yeah, I did wonder. I was like, she's into Pinhead?
No, Constantine.
So are you talking about like back in the Vertigo days or the New 52 Constantine Vertigo stuff?
I don't know. I used to steal the comics from my cousin. So
Probably
whichever
original
version
Probably
you
the
Hellblazer.
do.
original Vertigo stuff then.
Yeah, probably original.
Okay.
Is Constantine getting renewed at all? Actually,
It
Did you
is.
hear this?
It's
going over
No,
to
I
CW?
thought you were talking about the comic, sorry.
No, the
No.
No, the series. I think it's.
CW didn't pick it up.
It did.
No.
Not. Well, we don't know.
No,
I
they
mean, it's the
didn't.
age of things
had-
coming back.
We had the TV upfronts is a thing that happens in America where all the networks talk about their upcoming shows and they will announce shows that are new, being renewed, and all that kind of stuff. Constantine wasn't mentioned once, so that's I unfortunately I think that show's probably dead in the water.
Yeah. It was. I get why it didn't get a lot of ratings and stuff though. It
Because
struggled with some things.
because Supernatural took all of its wind before it had a chance to ever come out.
Yeah, pretty much. Like there are like similarities between Supernatural and Constantine, Hellblazer kind of
Mr.
stuff. But,
Castiel his image is based on Constantine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like it, I don't know, just whatever way that they did it. Like I think the film definitely did it better. Even though I was one of the people saying Keanu Reeves just didn't match with the character, but then when he actually portrayed
Not British, charming.
yeah.
Blonde.
But like whatever, like his version of it was still good.
Yeah, if it
but
wasn't called
just,
Constantine, it would have been a good film.
Yeah.
It also had Shia
John
LaBeouf.
Wick. John Wick points
Shia LaBeouf was okay, and also I still say to this day he's a weird guy, good actor.
Have you seen the
Fury?
No. Is it not
The
Chandelier?
music video for Sia.
Elastic Heart.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's awesome.
It is so creepy.
when he's with the girl and she's trying to beat him and
Yeah!
he's crying and stuff, it
Yeah.
fucking hits you in the
That is
feels.
It's
That's an
one of the
amazing video.
weirdest videos I've ever seen,
But
but it's so
interesting.
brilliant.
It's so interesting. And,
And they're dressed like they're in some sort of weird.
Well, you know what the
They're,
reason
they're, in a,
is.
they're in a cage and
They're in her
did-
mind.
and she's dressed in her unitard and he's dressed in
Leotard.
unitard, whatever. And he's got tights. And they're literally it's again like the warring states of the two warring states of her mind. Your one Maddie is that the name of the girl?
Oh, I can't remember their name.
She's got
Scary
weird,
eyes.
Elijah Wood big ass eyes.
Immortalize.
But anyway, back on point.
My comic. What would my comic be? I don't know. I think. Oh God, what would have been the worst? I suppose I liked the beginning of Red Lanterns in the New 52, and then it just took a massive dive. Just horrible. I heard it got better again, but yeah, I'd say in Red Lanterns because I wanted to get. When New 52 came out, I got almost all of it, and it was a good run. It was interesting, but yeah, Red Lanterns definitely.
And I'll say also getting more recent is when they killed Wolverine.
Broke your heart?
It broke my heart, man.
I still haven't read
Because
any
there
of
was
that
just
stuff.
like
How he died was nice.
I feel like it's just killed like
A lot
so
of your-
much of my interest of what I read in Marvel and stuff like that. And then the worst thing about it is they killed him when there was like say 10 spin-offs. Now there's like 30 spin-offs.
Yeah.
And there's some of them are coming out weekly. I was like, I can't afford that even. So I've just given up on loads of stuff.
For me, God, I've one or two from again. It's from like the New 52, so I think the New 52 is getting a really bad rap here because there are some good things in
Batman.
New 52.
A few points of Superman.
Batman
I
literally
Vampire.
didn't change.
I Vampire was amazing.
For me, it's actually Moon Knight. Recently, it's gone
Dick
from
and Shelby's?
it's gone from being like
He's
the
not
first
on it anymore, is he?
first he's only doing covers. First 6 issues were Warren Ellis, Declan Shalvey, and Jordi Belair's amazing run on Moon Knight. Then came it's not Cullen Bunn because he's the one currently writing it, and it wasn't great. Yeah, Brian Wood. Brian Wood did the next run. Can't remember the artist, but Deck wasn't it. They tried like that run was actually quite interesting. It actually had like a narrative and had like a good story instead of Warren's, which was like one story per issue. It kind of spun a different route now again with Cullen Bunn writing, and I just find it really really poor. And I just hope that it picks up because Moon Knight is a character that I really really have enjoyed, and it's one of the more obscure characters from
He needs a lot of love.
from Marvel. Another one that I think took a massive dive for me personally was the Flash, actually, because I absolutely the New 52 Flash, because I loved Francis Manapul, Brian Buccellado's run on the Flash. It established so much for the Flash in the New 52 while also being stunningly gorgeous. I have been a fan of Francis Manapul's art since he did Adventure Comics pre 52, and he also did a lot of the earlier Jeff Johns run of the Flash before it went into Flashpoint. That was for me where it kind of dove a bit.
A lot of people say the reason why is Francis Manapul's artwork hid a lot of the bad writing. That's what a lot of people are saying, is that the reason why it took a dive was because Francis Manapul's artwork just stunned you. And if you see it, it is amazing. Like his version of the Reverse Flash is terrifying.
Yeah, like the Reverse Flash in
Don't say
this
it. I don't know
continuity is a
who it is.
completely different person to who it is in the show. But the design work on the outfit and everything kind of suited that character, and it was really really interesting. I think Manapul actually left when Buccellato left as well. Buccellato stayed on and wrote 1 or 2 issues, but the art wasn't as good. I think actually Green Arrow was probably a situation where it was poor, it went up, and then it went poor again.
Yeah. It's got a little bit better now. Now I think I'm 4 issues behind. They're sitting in my comic book corner in my house,
waiting to be read.
I've been so busy the last couple of months.
I have a question from our very own Anthony Bean.
Oh, who's not here?
Who's not here? Because he had a
baby.
child.
We miss you, Anthony.
You had a baby.
We love you.
No, we don't.
He said, who is our favourite alternate reality version of a comic book character?
Ooh.
For example, he gives the example, say, Old Man Logan Wolverine is an example there.
Spider-Verse has given me a lot of love. Spider-Verse has so many different Spider-Men. There's like Captain Universe Spider-Man, who is like basically God. And it's Peter who like decided to keep on these godlike powers. He's amazingly cool. I suppose when I look to alternate universes, I go for DC have some great alternate universes. They have some great alternate universe versions of characters. If I had to pick one of my favorites, I'd go with Red Sun Superman.
Oh, good call.
That's a good call.
Red Sun Superman. He's such an interesting character. So twisted and logical, and everyone loves and hates him at the same time. He's a great alternate for me.
He still retains that kind of heroic feel as well.
Yeah. For me, again, sticking with Superman in the Justice League series, where there's the episode where Randall Savage throws him into the future.
Oh yeah,
Vandal, and they're the only 2 people left, like thousands of years in the future, and that's a fantastic episode. It's a standalone episode, but it's like he's an alternate. He's no powers. He's just like a guy trying to survive, and he ends up with like a beard, and it's so good. It's one of my favorite episodes of Justice League.
Like he gets attacked by a pack of like
mutated
wolves, and then he trains them.
Yeah,
it's awesome
because he kills their leader, and then wears the leader as a cape. It's so good. It's amazing.
Olivia, how about you?
I played the 5th.
You don't. Do you not know any alternate versions of a character? Like, are there no alternate versions of? Well, I suppose then for you, what's been your favorite character that you've been introduced to? Like Civil War must have introduced a ton of characters.
It did, yeah. Like there was loads of them that I was a bit like. As I said before, I had never heard of any of them. I want the what they're called again, the Warriors.
The New Warriors.
The New Warriors. I want them to die a painful
They
death.
did.
They did.
The new Warriors are good though. There's a new team led by another Spider-Man.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, he's nice.
I liked the oh shoot, I can't remember his name now. the version, it's not the Hulk. It's
Red Hulk.
No. It's like not Hulk. That's not right either.
She-Hulk?
Oh, okay, spoiler for the comic book here now. But he changed form and pretended to be Hank Pym. And then revealed himself. Hulkling, that's the one.
Yeah, Hulkling's great.
I liked Hulkling.
Yeah.
He was pretty cool.
Yeah, he was very cool. And he's an alien.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's an alien.
Because I was then even just sort of wondering, like, wow, they could have used his, changing powers, like, so much earlier than they did.
Tom, do you not know Hulkling?
He's part,
New Young Avengers? No? Oh.
He's part,
he's Skrull. He's a Kree and a Skrull. Okay. So Tom, what about yourself?
That's the thing. I was literally just sitting there and like, what one do I want to go with? Because all you guys have said some of the ones I wanted to say.
You're allowed to say the same again.
Yeah, I mean,
you're allowed to say Old Man Logan. It's okay.
He's coming back.
Actually, there's a character in the version of Bruce Banner in Old Man
Oh
Logan. So creepy.
No!
He's so creepy.
Oh, so creepy.
He's so
creepy.
Weird
this
and
is
creepy.
This like little frail old man who's just like really weird looking.
No,
and then he turns into the Hulk.
No, I'm sorry. I'm talking. Yeah, he is. But then like the Hulk version is just like
creepy,
like weird and creepy. Like how he talks about Betty is so weird.
How he talks about Jenny.
Jenny,
weird.
Actually, sorry,
yeah, it's Jenny who he.
Jenny, yeah.
But do you know who I really like? Who's an alternate version? The Maestro. Do you guys know the Maestro?
Yeah.
Yeah, the alternate version. He's an alternate future version of the Hulk who has taken over the whole world. Oh, right. He's really smart, and the whole world can't. No one can fight him because as the years have gone on, he's just gotten stronger and smarter. And like they figure out too late that it's not the Hulk they should worry about. It's Banner. It's Bruce, because Bruce is actually insane. Because obviously, who would do this to their body? Yeah. And so he's an amazing character. And the great thing about Secret Wars, the new comic series, is they're all coming back. The Maestro, Old Man Logan, they're all coming back. Convergence is bringing back Red Son Superman.
Convergence is bringing back a lot of stuff.
Yeah, like basically when Convergence and Secret Wars are over, which I think is in the next couple of weeks.
Convergence isn't over until December.
Isn't it?
Oh, sorry, not Convergence. Secret Wars.
Yeah,
is
Secret
December.
Wars. Convergence is over very soon.
Over this week.
I think so. We're going to see a whole new batch of like crazy new and old characters coming back.
Well, in Marvel, in Secret Wars, the universe is ending.
Yeah,
everything.
616 is gone.
And when the 616 comes back, I think it's something like 8 months after the end of Secret Wars.
Same thing with Convergence.
I find it so hard to keep up with it.
It really is. Like, I mean, I used to
be.
be able to keep up with it, but I can't keep up with it as much as I used to.
If I ever win the lotto, that's what I'll do. Full
just cut out
just
my
read
time.
comics.
If
Buy everything.
If I was to pick another one, briefly.
Apologise for my squeaky chair.
Sure, squeaky.
Don't do it now.
Okay, we are running out of time, so the last question comes from Darren, again, one of our guys.
Graham? Darren Graham? Is that his name?
Yes.
Say his second name.
Graham.
Is that how you pronounce it?
Darren Graham, he asks, he's asked a multitude of questions, actually. He's basically asked, like, what villains do you think we will see in The Flash Season 2? And also, what do we think of the significance of Jay Garrick's helmet? Now, I know we've kind of covered some of this, but, like, quick fire round. Shane?
I think it's really going to be really... Obviously, there's going to be changes in timelines because there is no mention of a Flash in, say, Jay Garrick's timeline or time period. So I wonder how that's going to fit in. And plus, he's a great character. So
yeah, he's amazing.
But I just wonder how they're going to fit it in. I really hope they don't mess around with timelines too much because it will just get too confusing. And then they're doing the whole time travel thing in the
Legends of Tomorrow.
Legends of Tomorrow and stuff. So having 2 shows that are all about different times, it's going to get messy.
Yeah, it's basically one of those things where absolutely anything goes. Anything can happen. You can expect anything because of the way that they've done it now.
Graham, how about you?
I'm very excited for Jay Garrick. I'm always a fan of when there's other versions of a character. Like, I always love when a different Spider-Man shows up, a different Superman, a different Batman, like, and when they team up. That's always interesting to me. And Flash really lends itself to that because, you know, you've got Bart, you've got Wally, you've got Barry, you've got Jay. And if anyone ever watched Young Justice, when those 4 showed up on the one episode, I mean, it was amazing.
Was
Jay was in an episode with Barry, Bart, and Wally, and it was amazing. It's great. I think the Flash family really lends itself to that. It's one of the best superhero families out there, you know, of the extended thing.
Like the whole notion of Bart in general is brilliant in that, like, it involves time traveling from Barry's perspective to go to the 31st century.
Yes.
Weirdly enough, live there for a couple of years. He has to live there a couple of years, have his own kids. Like, I watched a brief GIF of an animated, one of the animated shows from the DCU where Bart talks to Barry and
Wally's there.
No. He's talking to Iris. He's talking to Iris and Barry in this anime show, and he just waves at Iris's belly and says, "Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad." And I was like, "That's really weird."
It's an amazing show. I can't wait for the Flash to come back for a second season. I think they really ended on a high note. They've been consistently good. Fine, yeah. You can say there's been dips. I don't think so. I think it's been a consistently great show. Just, you know, get rid of Iris. Which is really like I say this every time. Just let Iris introduce Wally and go away.
Yeah,
as long as they don't go down the route they did in Smallville, which was there was a superhero team that everybody just forgot about. And
the Justice Society of America. What the hell? That made no sense. Like,
and Dr. Fate
and the Green Lantern.
Actually, but classically now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
classically.
yeah.
But the most annoying thing about that episode
Was?
double episode was they did all this like newsreel footage that just didn't make
Any sense.
Because there's no record of like them.
No, but there was this. They did this newsreel footage, and like one of the examples was it Wildcat?
Yeah.
And he's like boxing in the gym, and then police come in and raid him, and it's just like, so who's filming this?
Clearly the cameraman got the inside scoop.
Yeah, it was just like it just didn't make any sense.
That
and they
shit-
had like loads of this like newsreel footage that like none of it made like it kept
No, it made no
breaking the
sense.
fourth wall and then being like
Very
it was like- or it was-
self-referential.
Yeah.
it was fourth wall camera that then became like a news crew, and it was just like, I'm sorry, what?
No, to
No,
be
wait,
fair-
what?
Smallville did a Bart Allen very well. Smallville's impulse was very well. Like when he was first introduced, and he was like he said to I always love that line where he's like
But
I have
he
to
was
leave.
basically Barry, but he
Yeah,
called
but it was
himself Bart.
called himself Bart, and he's saying to Clark, I have to leave, and Clark's like, it's the only way I could let you stay, and he goes, catch me, and he goes, fine. So they both run super speed, and you just see Bart's a little bit ahead of him, and Clark's trying to catch up, and he turns around, like Bart turns around, says, and shoots off even faster, and you just see Clark stop, and for the first time Clark realizes there's someone out there faster than him, and just like,
And
that
he's
was amazing.
so much faster.
So much faster.
So he won't be starting anything with like, and I'm the fastest man alive.
I have to say, I always loved that opening. But have you guys noticed that about TV shows
All
now?
of them are doing it.
All of them are doing it. Peggy Carter does it.
Annoying.
Hi,
Zombie does it.
Hi, my name is blank, and I am the blankety blank.
Yeah,
they,
but
they did it really well in Arrow, which they did was my name was Oliver Queen.
But they did it really well with.
Oh god, that was so annoying.
No, but they did it with the Flash really well as well. My name, like when he first meets the Reverse Flash, and then the episode afterwards. My name is Barry Allen. I am not the fastest man alive. It's just like nice. I love that show.
Olivia, what do you think about like? Do you have anything else to add?
No, I actually didn't know about the helmet. I didn't know what that reference was, so I had to message Graham and just be like, what?
Mhm.
So I had it explained to me, and considering like this character is supposed to be the first Flash.
He's the
Progenitor.
he's the golden age.
Yeah, so
Flash.
it's kind of like, why is he in the future?
He's in
not
an
in the
alternate
future.
But like
timeline.
alternate timeline.
the history
I
of
just
Jay
didn't
Garrick.
understand. I was like, how are they going to mold it all together?
Shane, you look
The-
so excited.
Yeah, Shane's just like, I want to talk.
The traditional history of Jay Garrick is that he's a person from the 40s. So he is the golden age of comics, and he is a older gentleman who has
Looks like an old tiny boxer.
He does.
He does.
He does, yeah. Duking like this.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you gotta.
But like he is also seen as someone who's a bit of a mentor.
You two are ridiculous.
He's seen as a bit of a mentor to Barry when they actually meet in a flash of two worlds crossover comic. So the fact that also really sold it for me as well is that when the helmet shoots through, you actually see Harrison
Get worried.
for
I
the
know.
first time. You're like, what was that? That's my cue to go. Because my image then was of literally 5 speedsters with Barry at the centre racing towards him. So
Yeah.
you would have Johnny Quick, you would have
Yeah, Johnny Quick.
you'd have Bart, Barry, Wally, and then maybe even that alternate future Barry as well, all coming. And I loved the fact that when he did shoot through, it was just like flying through, fist in hand, ready to go. I think for villain wise, I think we'll see an expanded version of the Rogues. We will see Sam Scudder maybe as Mirror Master.
Mm-hmm.
Because you still have to add the Top as well, and you also need to add
The top is so
Captain
stupid.
Boomerang has to come back.
Captain Boomerang
Yeah.
has to
Yeah.
come back.
I'd
He's
say the
stuck on that
majority.
island.
I'd say the majority of the escaped metahumans are probably going to come back in season 2 at
Oh,
some
yeah.
point.
Like Peekaboo was probably for me of the characters, stupid ass name, but of the characters there, I thought she was quite cool. Liam McIntyre was also really
He was
good
amazing
as Weather Wizard.
Weather.
I definitely think you're going to see an expansion of the Rogues with Sam Scudder come back to top. There's another one, Abracadabra or something like that, and he's also from the future.
Oh God, yeah.
You may also see Jason Woodrue, who was also Murmur. He's also been. Has he been introduced yet? I
No, I
can't
don't think
remember.
so.
Murmur is a guy who... No, Murmur was introduced. He was introduced in
multiplies
Arrow.
himself, isn't he?
No, he was introduced in Arrow. Murmur's the guy who sewed his mouth shut.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
Now, I can't remember what happened to him.
You can't see it because it's narrow. So
I can't remember what happened to him, but he's a big Flash villain.
we don't really see much of him. We see him cause mayhem, and then that's it.
I think Talkman will be back. What's his name?
Liam Talk. Oh, the Clock King.
Clocking, yeah. Was he killed? I can't remember.
No, he was not killed. He was taken away.
Talkman, he's more actually. He's an example who's actually more of a Batman villain.
Yeah, but Green Arrow as well.
Actually, I just also noticed something. We were talking earlier about all of the Spartacus actors being in this. What about all of the Prison Break actors?
Yeah, that's true.
True, yeah.
The three leads
I
from
just
Prison Break.
Talkman, I realized.
Yeah, the three leads from Prison Break are in the DC universe together now
Yeah.
as villains. That's weird.
One thing I definitely think should happen if it wants to literally jump the shark with this, but use the cosmic treadmill.
They technically already do.
But it's not really the cosmic treadmill.
They have a treadmill.
Olivia looks very confused.
Yeah, and to be fair, did we not kind of all agree that maybe what's it called?
The accelerator.
The accelerator. The particle accelerator. Didn't it kind of feel like it was going to be turned into the cosmic treadmill?
I genuinely thought that the treadmill that's in the show was going to end up being the cosmic treadmill. The cosmic treadmill for Olivia is literally a time travel device for.
Well, I've already told her.
Oh, I've already told her. Okay.
But Shane, what about you? What are you looking forward to?
In
Everything.
In season 2, specifically season 2 of Flash.
Specifically in season 2 of Flash, I think that Jay Garrick is going to be in it.
Yeah.
We've been confirmed that Bart's definitely going to be in it.
Yeah.
I think that's our cue to leave. I don't know. Yeah, but I'd like to see some like really obscure, like powerful villain come in and just kick.
I think to be the best thing, Johnny Quick.
Oh, yeah.
How amazing would it be to
Not Johnny
see
Quick,
Earth
Max
3,
Mercury.
But
Earth 3, Barry?
But I'd rather it wasn't another speedster. I think somebody who should just be
That's true.
just better than him, something like that.
That's true. That is difficult.
We always have Grodd in the background.
We do.
Grodd,
Yeah,
I
Grodd's
think
going to keep
actually,
evolving. Yeah.
Grodd is someone who I think you mentioned earlier about having Eddie come back, not through season 2, but near the end as kind of like a. What was it we said? We said the black.
I said the Black Flash, maybe.
Yeah.
That he could be like a bit like a comic splash page at the very very last scene
That
of
would be amazing.
episode or season 2's finale, whatever. Grodd is something that can also evolve and become like someone that you kind of see in bits and pieces throughout season 2, and then season 3 he's the guy there who's already probably gone off, established his guerrilla kingdom.
Yeah.
And all
Maybe
that kind
he
of stuff.
creates the Ultra Humanite, another Flash villain.
That's another person who I was thinking of, the Ultra Humanite.
There are a lot of evil gorillas.
And on that note,
I'd like to see some more heroes brought in.
Yeah.
But not necessarily that they stick around too long. Like you could bring in someone like say Metamorpho or
Yeah,
somebody like that
Metamorpho would be
cool.
amazing.
with the fact that Katana has come in and the fact that there have been
That
stories.
was amazing. the
She
way
was
they did
great.
With the fact that Katana has come into Arrow, and the fact that Ollie is also involved with the Outsiders
Yeah.
from time to time, I wouldn't mind seeing an Outsiders spin-off.
You think it'd be Katana and Arsenal?
Katana, Arsenal, because that means, well, actually,
Except I
Colton
hate-
Haynes
I
has
hate him so
not
much.
got
I don't know why.
his contract's finished with the CW.
Yeah.
Like he will only come back in recurring appearances, or in the occasional guest spot. But an Outsiders consisting of possibly Maseo.
Yeah.
Isn't he dead though?
I know, but apparently he's coming back for next year.
Oh no.
Lazarus Pit now.
Oh, yeah.
You've got.
Sarah's coming back.
Sarah's
Anybody's
coming back.
I think actually you can
No
almost
one's
call
dead.
you could almost call the Legends of Tomorrow a sort of Outsiders group, but they're not
Yeah.
really. Like the Outsiders were a bit of a clandestine kind of secret group formed by Batman to kind of do
Batman
wet
stuff.
ops, black ops for him. But I think you could definitely try and maybe flesh it out with someone like Metamorpho come in.
Yeah.
He'd be great.
Elongated man.
Oh, don't.
Do not diss Ralph Dibny.
Excuse me, there's only one dude in the DC universe that's cool like that, and that's fucking Plastic Man.
Do not diss Ralph
Elongated
Dibny.
Man is a poor man's version of Plastic Man.
We are going to end with
I get them mixed up. Is it Plastic Man has like the goggles?
Yeah, Plastic Man's the
So
goggles.
that's who I was thinking of.
Yeah, it's Plastic Man. Elongated Man is the dude in the purple outfit who thinks he's all that, but
He's also a detective seconded only to Batman.
No.
Do you know?
Yes, he is.
A real version of Jason Blood.
Oh,
yeah.
Jason Blood would be
Actually, an
amazing.
Yeah, with
Well,
Etrigan, and I'd really love a show of The Question.
Yeah.
There's
And
so
Swamp
many
Thing
possibilities
needs to come in
that
somewhere.
could go in.
Swamp Thing.
Swamp Thing. Do you know what's sad? If
Green
Constantine,
Power.
if Constantine had gotten a second season,
Swamp Thing.
Swamp Thing was going to be in it. I mean, it was crazy. But I mean, like, I guess we'll leave it at that. There's so many things to talk about.
Yeah.
Damn you, Flash.
This has been our
Do you know,
Flash-centric.
It really has.
the one thing I really want for season 2
What?
is better writing.
Screw you.
I have to agree with him. Like, some of the writing needs to be
But you can say
tightened
that about
up.
anything.
Some of the
No,
writing.
I'd say that about any show.
You can say that about any show. So I guess we'll leave it at that. The Flash is brilliant. I should have cut it off better than that.
And that is Graham being very loud.
Yeah, I've been Shane. Find my film on YouTube. It's called Practice.
It's very good.
I've been Graham. Find my film on YouPorn.
That's the name of this show, the YouPorn Paradox.
It's actually just photos of. I can never pronounce his name.
Manu Bennett?
Yes.
It's all just that's the intro.
It's just gifts from Spartacus. Of just his dick swinging.
And on that note, I've been Olivia.
I've been Tom.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.